I need to turn this one on. Hi, Anne, can you hear me? Did my mouse disappear too? I'll help you with that. And next time we'll do the first 10 minutes. That's what we'll be doing, signing into Zoom. But right now, let me see, because I don't think, can you hear me? Anyone at home, can you hear me? Okay, yes. I can't hear you yet though, so can you say something? Let me try louder. There, I can
I'm
hear you.
Laura. Okay.
Got you. And now I need to switch. Give me 1 second. I have not used this room in a little bit, and I need to do a change here. So give me 1 second.
What?
Give me 1 second. If this is possible, if this worked, and if not, can you? Nope. Okay, that didn't work.
Yeah, it was on the line.
I'm trying to see which one of the, so this is not Photoshop. This is me trying to see which computer is being displayed, because I'd rather have this one be displayed. You guys can see the people in the classroom, but that's something that I am attempting as we speak. Okay, today we're not going to be able to do that. Today we will have to do it this way. I'm going to have to get tech support here. Keep changing it. Use as. Okay, let me try this one more time. Nope, that's not what I need. It might get confusing there, so I'll help in a second. Okay, I'm kind of giving up on this. This isn't going to work, and I need to stop the mirroring because this is making it worse. 1 second. 1 second. I need to stop the mirroring. I apologize. I tried to last week. These classes, the classroom blocks weren't working. I couldn't get in after hours, so I'm having do this now, which is not ideal. No, this isn't, oh, no. Okay, this is not good. I can only get, it is really not good.
Are you trying to share your screen with us?
No. I am so sorry that I can't actually pay attention to you guys right now. It's just
Oh,
that I
it's
have
okay.
a system set up with a computer that I cannot. My system is mirroring, which it shouldn't. I'm trying to turn it off. Because otherwise I can't see Zoom and teach, and it's not been set up.
I see.
It's zero to do with Photoshop. It's how the and you're seeing it. No, you're seeing this. Oh, it went over there. That's what it's considering error position. I couldn't see that it was over there. Let me see if that fixed it. No, we're still in mirroring that one. Stop mirroring. Yep, it's still mirroring there. It's just doing this weird thing where just a second monitor, and I wasn't gonna need tech support help with this. Good job. Okay, I'm in real trouble here. It's got. Okay. Wave 3 extron scalar is mirroring the right one. This one. Is this the Dell? They have these crazy setups. Stop mirroring this one. It's okay. All right, we're back to not where I want, but at least this is usable. Okay. Done. It's not what I want, but this is not crazy. Now I can, sorry guys, this was crazy. I didn't know that this was gonna happen. So you all have been sitting there for quite a while and I'm telling you to come early and next thing you know, I'm dealing with technical stuff. So I apologize.
Been there.
It's yeah, it's interesting how you think you've got it all as handled as you can, and then there's a loophole in all of this. And anyway, so now let me introduce myself to those of you who joined us on in online. Hi, Anne, and hi, Laura. Relatively soon, we're going to have other people signing in, and there's things I should have already handled that I didn't because of this problem. So I'm not going to teach Photoshop yet. I'm going to first work on setting up the class. So I was trying to get you all to see our classroom. And it might still work because I can't do what I wanted to do. I'm wondering if I do this. You guys are seeing my classroom now, aren't you? It's not perfect because then this is going to have to show me, but let me see. I'm jury rigging things, you guys. This is not Photoshop. This is me trying to figure out how to make this work. Because they switched some things since last time I was here, which was December. All right, and then you guys can see me here. Hi.
Hi.
In this method. I'll see if I don't get too confused by it, then this might work.
Well, looks great.
There you go. All right, and then I have yet to remember how to connect the microphone because when I go there to talk to someone, people online can't hear me, but I'm gonna just give myself a break and not do the microphone yet. Okay. Maybe I can just do it quickly and it might, if it works immediately, that would be amazing. It could. It could just work, and if so, then life would be so incredible. Let me change the speaker. Use audio device. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, now let me walk away from here. Can you still hear me now? Awesome.
Yes,
Oh, less, but well.
less, but I can. I mean, I can hear you fine.
But
I
is
just
it?
don't know if it's
It should be the same. If this were working.
okay.
The same. Otherwise, it's just picking up the audio. But as long as you can still hear me, that's okay.
Maybe
I
it's the same.
loudly. When people have questions, you might not hear them, but we'll see. Let's see if this works.
I think it's working.
I think so. In which case, let me put this in my pocket. I feel like I'm a media. There we go. All right. Welcome to Photoshop. So I'm gonna just like give up on the Zoom right now, maybe during break or something. My intention is to have everyone here on Zoom too, and since there's very few people in person, they have two computers each, so that everyone can, so that you can all be in one group, right? And everyone can see each other's, because especially when there's an issue and someone has to share a problem, everyone can see that on Zoom, but you won't be able to see if it's in the classroom. So anyway, it's an intention, and I've done it with other classes, but I'm gonna wait a bit on this one. So the first question I have, Manuel, were you able to get in yet to pipeline? Try that. Otherwise, if it's truly like giving you the walk around or run around, they can help you reset it in the front office. And I'm seeing people walking in right now, so maybe they. Hi, did you manage to find? Your- Did you manage to find your pipeline? Is it working now?
Yeah.
Pipeline password, okay. Go ahead and maybe take that one or whatever. This one you'll be, there's so much stuff here that,
Somebody has this one?
no, but can you see from there? I guess you can. Okay. No, that's fine. I will in fact then put this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Someone hasn't signed yet. Manuel, Jonathan, James.
Signed?
You need
Oh.
to sign
Oh,
here
sure,
in the
sure.
roster. Okay. Thank you. And could I know your first name, please?
Errol.
Errol. Okay, great. So go ahead and give that a try to see if
Okay.
that password
Yeah, okay, yeah.
is working.
Does that have to be my accurate name?
You got in? No, the one you should have is pipeline. There, put your username. Your username is just usually your initial and your first letter of your last name. Have you, who are at home, have you attempted, have you used your pipeline username and password and it's working?
Yes.
Great. I'm changing glasses. So, Laura, I'm seeing that it says Laura F. Do you know how to rename yourself over your window? Can you please put your
Yep.
last name in there
Oh,
as
sure.
well? That's great, because then roster wise we'll know which Laura.
Sure.
Sometimes it doesn't matter if your name is very different, but at times later with rosters, I need to see who is actually there. Okay, so we're trying that password. Okay, so everything that's happening at the first 10 minutes is supposed to be you guys getting on usernames and passwords.
Doesn't like it.
And then I was gonna help you with,
That's why.
okay, so this is not Errol, this is your username would be what's your last name?
McCarthy.
So type your last name now.
Okay.
And for some people, and in fact, for some people, it's first initial and second and initial of your second name. But I can actually check your the roster for your last name. So that.
Well, I think it's going.
Is it now?
I think so.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Oh.
because sometimes like my username has my second initial and some only have the E. Okay, let's see if that goes in. Takes a little bit, but it goes in. Okay. All right. So in the first 10 minutes, those of us who come in person, if we can manage maybe during break or after break today, we can spend the time with just making sure everyone knows how to sign into Zoom, then that would be a good thing to do. Come in and set up your Zoom. And then when people show up, we're all in class and we start, it's like by 10:10, we're all inside of Photoshop, right? But today, but see, this is what's happening. Now you can't see me when I talk to the group over there. I need to do. There you go. I need to have tech support coming because they changed how it's set up. And this isn't working because I need to make sure everyone can see me, not just. Okay. I'll see. It's crazy. I have 3 monitors in front of me and I have to make sure the camera's following me. Maybe they can give me another webcam for this one. Okay. If you notice that you're not seeing me for a while, let me know and I'll remember to step back into this space. It's weird because normally I teach walking around and now with the only negative to HYFLEX, there's so many benefits. But the one is that I need to stand here and when I go help, I have to run back here, which is why I was hoping for the other camera and you guys will see it, but I haven't disappeared. I'm just over there.
As long as we can hear you, it's.
Yeah.
it'll work.
And there's one more person here. You can't see Manuel, but that's kind of good enough. All right. So when we are on online, which at some point you all will be online too. A good reason for me needing everyone to be online too is that I need to see when everyone's online is here, there's going to be quite a few people. And whenever I have a class that's online and I want to hear an answer from everyone, like in person, I say, okay, raise your hands if you're a Mac user, raise your hands if you're a PC user. But online, what I do, and what I need you guys to test right now, is I have people use the reactions button, which is the little smiley face. And if you can see the green check mark, then go for the green check mark, because the thumbs up only it hangs out there for 3 seconds. I need to turn the light off so people can see this screen better. Yeah, because it's too washed out with that light, and I need to close this window a little bit. Again, things that have changed over there we go. Now you can all see the screen a little bit better. It's too washed out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So were you both able to say yes? Oh, I don't see any yeses. So can you give me a yes with the green check mark? And do you know where the reactions buttons are?
I did, I see, yeah, there you go.
There you go. Perfect.
First
Now,
time.
notice that the only way they disappeared is because they either clicked it again for it to disappear, or there's a little thing that you click and it appears that tells you to bring it down. So in general, I don't want you to bring it down, because when I do have you say yes or no, I need to look at the class and see a sea of greens, like everyone's done, before I move on to the next step. When I'm moving on to the next step, I'll lower everyone's hands. But sometimes I'll say, well, if you're a Mac, give me a yes, which would be the green one. If you're a PC user, give me a no, which is the red one. And I don't really mean yes or no. I just mean I need to see greens or red things. And this is why I was hoping you guys could be set up, but we'll make a switch. So now if you switch to green, you don't have to stop you switch to red, you don't have to stop the green, you just click on red and it turns into a no, okay? But if you have a question that you need to ask me, then you need to raise your hand. So can you find the raise hand button? Great. Because the very bottommost thing is a raise hand. Perfect. And when you raise your hand, when I have 10 or 20 people there, the raised hand goes up and top. So then I'll know that the first person, in this case, Laura, I should ask, yeah, hey, Laura, okay, what's your question? And the next one would be Anne, and so on and so forth, okay? And then I can also have you guys raise your hands that way too, so that not only do they know that someone's waiting for a question, but then I look at the row and otherwise I'm like, well, Anne, and a raised hand and so I handle everything by having everyone be on Zoom. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give Zoom people a break once they're all in here, and then I'm gonna set you guys up on Zoom if for the first time if you need some help. So all right, so that's Zoom. Now for those of you who are online, I need to know that if you run into trouble, you can just share your screen with me, because that's the only way I have to help you. And I need to close that door a little bit, or try to close it. There's very noisy people right outside our classroom. Thank you. Okay. There we go. It does lock, so if you ever hear anyone trying to put, no, it's okay. No, close it. I mean, no. It's okay. It should stay closed. In fact, yeah, and in fact, technically, not to scare anyone, but the whole point of these doors that they lock is because of the whole, university people, schools, people who decide to come and have some fun with their guns. So they're not able to come in unless we let them in. But anyway, if anyone hears the door, let me know and we'll open them up. Okay. Sorry, segue things that I need to say that are not pleasant, but it's a reality, unfortunately, in 2024. So when I need to see if you're stuck or you need help or you're trying to show me something, you need to be able to use your, to share your screen with us. So have either of you ever shared your screen, Anne or Laura? No? Okay.
Not on Zoom, I don't think.
So I'll walk you through it. Do you have a Mac or a PC?
PC.
And Laura?
On the Mac.
A Mac. Okay. So let's start with the PC because it's simpler. PC just shares versus the Mac is very careful with your privacy. Macs are great about privacy and you have to give it a lot of permissions and put in a password. So I'm going to start and the first time, the second time, once you tell it, yes, share, it never happens again. So Anne,
Yes,
see a green button that says share screen.
yes,
Start with that one. It's 2 steps. For you, click on the green button that says share screen.
okay. Done.
Then on the bottom right, there's another little button that's blue with white letters that says
Share.
share. Mhm. Okay, perfect. You're sharing your screen and it'll pop up in a second. There it is. So now we're seeing your screen. Okay, so you're good. I'm going to stop your share. But why don't you try it? You can, at the top, you can see a big red button that says stop share. Sometimes I'll stop your share. Sometimes you'll stop your share.
Yeah, and I have 2 monitors, so I'm not sure which one you're seeing. If that messes anything up, I can.
No, that, yeah, what I'm seeing right now is an island with sands and pine trees.
Okay,
So the one that you're gonna have to share is the one that has Photoshop. So if it's not this one, then you might want to try the other one. You have 2 monitors or 2 computers? 2 monitors.
2 monitors.
Go ahead and do the share again. I stopped your share. Go ahead and say share screen again. And in that in-between space, you can choose which monitor to share. And then hit the second share button.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so do that. Hit the green share screen again. And now choose the monitor. There you go. So this is the one that's going to have Photoshop. Now you have more of a sunsetty island kind of thing. Is that the one that has Photoshop that
They're
you're going to
both
use?
so similar. In fact, they're the same scene.
They're the, but no, the other one we saw
Can
pine
you see
tree.
my cursor? Can you see my cursor?
Yes, I
moving?
can see your cursor.
Yes.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, they both can be described as islands, but okay, so I stopped your share now. So perfect. Great. So you're set up once Photoshop is up and running. And if you run into any snag, you can just do that and I can see and I can tell you how to fix, what to move, what to do. And let me just say, never hesitate to either raise your hands here to get my help or online to share your screen because it's much faster to have you just do that. I look, I see, I tell you what, we continue. It takes 2 seconds. People go, oh, if I share my screen, it'll interrupt the class. No, no, no. What interrupts the class is me seeing that you are floundering and then I have to catch you up 10 minutes later with 10 steps instead of the 1 step that didn't work. Does that make sense? So definitely when something's not working, don't assume it's you and, oh my God, everyone else understands it. No, first of all, it's usually the answer is good for everyone. And I'll demo it on screen here so that people online can also see what I'm fixing. If it's something that's got to do with the steps that are doing. Now, if it's a personal mess on your computer because something happened, then I'll just kind of help you fix it and they'll continue. Max, on the other hand, you need to do a couple of privacy things. So go ahead, Laura, hit the share screen first. Okay. And then when you click the second share, which is bottom right white button, you're going to get something about having to go to your preferences or your settings. What does it say?
Yep.
What is it? System preferences. So click on that button that says open. All right. Now, that button that the window you're seeing right now, there's has like kind of 2 columns. On the right side, you should be able to scroll to the word Zoom and click on the check mark. Once you do that, it'll ask you for your password. Okay. Once it lets you in, it'll say to now or later. Say later. Okay. Once you're done with all those steps, now go back to the green share screen. And now when you hit share, it should share. Yep. Woohoo. We're seeing your screen. Perfect. Now you can just close that one. Well, you can open system settings and say okay to again. But I'm going to stop your share meanwhile. But don't say deny because then it'll stop. But then you can complete that. Okay. But just say later whenever the later comes in. All right. Good. So you two can share your screens. Now, and everyone here, did your username, password?
Yeah, well,
You're in pipeline,
But
so it works.
but I'm stuck, I'm on the two.
That's fine, as long as you got into pipeline, I mean, it's working.
Okay.
So everyone who has to access pipeline, Wi-Fi here for their phones or their laptops or their iPads or whatever, it is, you have to go to SBCC. Someone asked before and I said guest, and it's not guest, it's actually SBCC in the Wi-Fi, and then you type your pipeline username and password, and that gives you access to Wi-Fi, which works in all the buildings. Not so good in the gardens when I'm out there. Sometimes it might not work if you want Wi-Fi. It's just the buildings are, I have to do this or you'll be seeing my midsection. There we go. All right, cool. Now we're gonna have more people joining us relatively soon. I need to know from the people who are online, are you going to be using Photoshop of your own or are you gonna be using VDI? So, yeah, Laura,
Just now.
you have your own setup, okay? And did you download Bridge as well?
No.
Okay, so go up to your cloud, Creative Cloud settings and download Bridge. Great. How about you, Anne?
I'm gonna not buy mine at
Okay.
first.
All right, so I need to set you up with VDI. So give me you a second and anyone else who's here who will be using their laptop and VDI versus the school computers. I think you said you don't have, and who does not, okay, who has a laptop that will be using for class? Tom and Manuel, everyone else will use the
Well-
school computer? Oh,
I have one, I could use.
we're gonna, so, but you don't have it here today.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. The only negative thing about laptops here is that we don't have, power cords. It's this room there, but we're gonna they always promised to remodel it. This was 4 years ago before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so it's hard, there's a long one back there. Worst case scenario, if your computer begins to die, there's a way of sitting on the back table there,
Mhm.
which is harder for me to help you. And then there's a plug right here and one right there. So like he has a long cable over there. So if you have a long cable for your computer, you can use it there too. Otherwise, bring an extension cord.
I'm not sure that there's power
So
line
that-
coming out of that on there and died, so.
Well, then try it here. Or try the one to the right. Someone said that last time. I got this, the facility people to come and they said it worked. Go and see if that worked. And if not, this one does work because the fan is working. Okay. And if not, bring yourself an extension cord because there's one right there, one right there. What I can't have is anything in my way nor in people's ways. So worst case scenario, there's that one back by the table. Okay, so that's logistics of here. So right now so if you're going to be using your computer for Photoshop, it needs to be able to handle Photoshop 2024. It needs to be a pretty good, fast computer. It needs to be a computer that has, so how old, what year, what's the statistics of your computer?
2012,
That one will not work.
okay.
It needs to be able to have the latest operating system, which a
Mhm.
2012 computer can't use, a Mac.
Right.
So that won't work. Photoshop is a very intense program. And but what will work for those of you at home, even if you have no computer, is using VDI, which is what Laura said, Anne said she's gonna use. So you have the applications on your computer. Manuel, what's your,
I don't yet, my original intent was to work from home because of the far away.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to load up anything up. on it
Yeah.
yet, but eventually,
but just to use VDI, not to purchase them, right?
I would want to purchase them, but eventually, I mean, I'd like to stay here for at least,
Yeah.
a few sessions and then.
Okay, so since right now, getting you on VDI, follow these instructions, okay? Go ahead, everything I'm gonna do right now, follow them. But for sure, you'll be able to set up with this on the local computer, so go ahead and sign into this computer with your password, and then you can have Photoshop on this, and then we'll do VDI for you on this one. Okay, great. Again, one other complication in the past, when people came in person, no one brought their laptops, one or two people, and that's it, and everyone was on the same system. But now when I have people at home, some people are on old PCs, new PCs, old Macs, new Macs, old versions, new versions, laptops here, laptops there. So that's why the whole like slow ramp up the first day to get the whole technicality of all of this set up before we can actually launch into Photoshop. So for anyone who is ever planning to work at home, but does not have Photoshop purchased, right? Then you have to use VDI. And VDI would be connecting to Wi-Fi on your computer. You would then, that's you, Mark, right? Coming in. What's that? Yep, there you go. Now when you have two computers, you might have, you need to make sure not to connect to audio. So when it says connect to audio, say no, or I can show you how to disconnect. So, and you have two monitors, which is the best of all situations. Laura, do you have any other? Go to there. That is arrow. Perfect. We can't have two microphones in the same room.
I
because then you-
put in my text with the here, but
Well,
they gave me a temporary password before it, yes.
Mr. Here, let me. I'm going to have a space in front. There we go. That space in front is very tricky because a lot of people. They took an erase from that still. Let me see what I want. Okay, try to type that in again. All right. So now I'm going to help people who need to get Wi-Fi on computers that either are not powerful enough for the real thing, or are not going to buy it. Then you have to use a VDI, which means you will connect your computer to the school computers and use Photoshop, but this will all be on your web browser online, okay? And there's some restrictions to it, which is why if you're planning to purchase it, it's easier, but if you're not planning to purchase it, then this works just fine. But I was talking to Laura for a second. If you have a second monitor, another old laptop, an iPad, something like that in your house, then the easiest way for you to now go grab it and connect to Zoom on that one so that you can watch me on one and then on the other one do the work. Does that make sense? But you need to be connected on both, because if you need to share your screen, then you need to have the one that has Photoshop also connected. Does that make sense? Instead of, so is that something that's possible for you before I?
It is, maybe not this session,
Okay.
but future
That's fine.
sessions.
So then, which is fine. So then the next thing will be is that when I do share my screen, you're gonna have to put half of me on one side of your screen demoing, and the other half of you has to be free for you to use Photoshop or whatever we're gonna use. And right now, we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna have everyone go to a web browser. And we're gonna connect to VDI, not everyone here, but just people who are on laptops that need to connect to VDI. So you could try on yours. And did you run through the steps? Did you try it yet to connect to VDI?
I did, and I looked at your video, and it's definitely different. The steps aren't the same. At
Okay,
least weren't for me, but I think I successfully did it. I got the two-factor authentication set up,
okay.
but I wasn't positive that I did everything right
Okay,
since I
We'll
went on
we'll
my
do
own.
it. I'll do it right now here, and you can follow through with yours. And then, Manuel, you can try to do it on this one. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now, you have to do on this computer, open a new tab and get to VDI, because you won't have, oh, I have to do this a touch screen, touch your screen. I forget about touch screens. So, go ahead and in here where this is now, there, you're gonna do for this computer to have Photoshop without purchasing it, you have to get on VDI. Okay, so that's it. Everyone else doesn't need VDI because you'll have your school computers. All right, so the first thing you need to do is open a browser. So I'm gonna go ahead and open my browser. And I'm going ideally, and this is weird, right? Because I'm a Mac teacher, Mac user, PC user, everything. But for VDI, it tends to be better if you have Google, Chrome, or Firefox. It works a bit better. So do you have either of those in your computer, Anne?
I'm using Firefox for this.
Great. So I'm noticing that the one installed here is Chrome, so I'm opening Chrome. And now I'm going to share my screen and everyone has to follow through. But this is a great time for those of you who have Zoom on this computer to see. I'm gonna have to do it on this computer, huh? For you guys to see it too.
And
Okay.
you want us to follow along step by step, right?
Mhm. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to move everything here for you all to be able to see it too, which is why it says I'm working with one desktop. I'm gonna have to, for this moment, for now, while I'm sharing my screen, you guys won't be able to see the whole group. And when I stop sharing my screen, then you can see the whole group again. And that's what I'm trying to prevent. Okay, so we're gonna head over to vmview.sbcc.edu. And another reason I want y'all on sbcc.edu. Another reason I want you guys to be on here, and I'm trying to find my chat now, is that I'll put links on the chat for everyone to type, and it'll be faster than if you have to type it in yourself. So in the chat, I just put in a link. Okay, someone just joined us, Jean. Okay, I might need to stop my share for a second to welcome Jean. When she connects, I'll do that. There we go.
So we do this in our browser outside of the Zoom, right? In a separate
Yeah.
screen in my case. Okay.
So give me a second while I say hi, Jean.
Hi. Sorry. Hi. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
how are you, Jean? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm
Um,
good. How are you?
I was in the middle of sharing my screen. Let me stop my share for a second. I'm about to help people who need VDI get onto VDI. Do you have Photoshop installed and ready to go, or are you going to use VDI?
Yes.
You
Yes.
have it ready to go. Okay, so then hang in for a minute. I'm going to share my screen again. And okay. So to your question, Anne, yes. What I'm doing right now, this is when it gets a little bit confusing for people with one screen. Put my share, the me that's talking, that's showing you my VMware Horizon on the screen that you're just going to watch. And then on the other screen, the one that you're working on, open your own browser. Okay. And then let's go to vmview.sbcc.edu. And then we're going to go click on this right side button right there. And when that happens, and I'm helping, it's not guest, you should be on SBCC, not an SBCC guest. So try again. No, it's all right. That's why I'm walking around.
Yeah.
So go back to Wi-Fi and choose just SBCC. Just SBCC. Oh, so cancel out of that one. And keep trying. Say cancel to that one, or
Right
keep
here.
trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then go to
Yes.
that.
That
SBCC.
one right there.
Because you're not a guest, you're a student here. so-
Okay.
Meaning, it should
Got it.
allow you in.
Got it.
All right,
You know,
VM
I-
view, right here. VM view. Go to the new- Oh, touch your screen. I'm so sorry. I can't touch screens. Go to this thing that says new tab. Go to that one. And then right there, go right, VM view. VM view. .sbcc.edu. And the last time I was in person, only a couple of people had their laptops and only a couple of people had touch screens. So that wasn't an issue. But I discovered last year when people started bringing it's a Mac class, no one has touch screens because Macs don't have touch screen. But one person was a PC user and they were trying to see if they wanted a Mac. And I kept going to their computer and touching their screen. Now I'm going to do a humanoid. I'm sorry, I'm going to do my best. So don't, not a guess, say cancel and go back up there and sign in as SBCC. And wait until it comes up. Maybe. Wait for it until all those, there should be like 6 or 7 choices, so. And then one of them is gonna be SBCC.
What about?
You guys, yeah, people who have school computers are all fine. You're the only ones who are kind of sitting here waiting, watching me going through all these antics. Sorry, Jonathan and Jane, and remind me, can you pick on the name tag a bit so I can see it? Yeah, John, thank you. You all just hang in there for a minute because you have the school computers, which are all working. It's all these extra equipment that I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
So
So,
Diana,
yes,
this is Ann. My computer now skips that HTML access screen and goes immediately to the screen that we've got up now, the sign on.
that's
So I
fine. That means you probably told it already to memorize that. So when you try to log in here, so are you here? Click on the right side button that says bottom right. Here, which says the HTML. I'm about to touch it myself. I'm the worst field between your screen and me. Okay, click on that. And you should be on this screen. Okay, and this is the one that you need help with. All right, so when you go to this one, then it's gonna ask you, and this, everyone pay attention. Why am I saying everyone pay attention? This is right now, only VDI people need this. But as of next session, they had told us as of this session, but they postponed it. As of next session, any student is gonna have to set up this 2-factor authentication system when you try to use Pipeline. You thought it was hard now. So what this means is you need to sign up, and it's a process, and then you'll get on your phone a code. And I have to look at my phone. You have to have your phone with you, and I'm gonna write the number 632027. Each time you do this, it's a new one. Now, for those of you who are at home and are using your own computers, you could click on remember this device, and then your computer will go through it much faster. So you don't have to do this all the time. And I'll help you guys with that too. But now that yeah, sometimes it makes me do it twice. Okay, and then you should be into something similar to this, but you don't have that many desktops because you're not faculty. You should just see something called student desktop. You might see this one too, but for sure you'll see this one. Now this is when I'm gonna be checking in with people who are trying to do this sign in. I'll be going, okay, if when there's 20 people doing the same time, I'll like, okay, if you made it here, give me a yes, that kind of thing. But right now it's only online, it's only Ann. So did you get to this page here?
Yes.
And click on student desktop. You too, Manuel, click on student desktop. And I have all the steps for this written out in a handout, Manuel. So you don't necessarily need to take notes. So it's, didn't
I
let you in on the
can't,
other
I
one?
can't get no, they won't accept my username or
Because this
password.
is a past guest, which you
Oh.
won't be able to do. You have to be on the local one, on this one, that username. There. Okay, all right. All right. So once we're in this page, it's gonna sit there and just take about a minute. What's happening right now is if you had gotten into your car and you're driving to school. So you're about to get on the school's computers. Did you get your 2-pass,
Yeah,
the 2-factor authentication part? Oh, good. That's kind of great. All right, so this is the only time that should take about, depending on the screen, it might take about a minute, 30 seconds, depending on how fast your Wi-Fi is, how the school's working. So go ahead and back up again to see. Tiny it too, okay, so click again, say okay. You guys sign in twice. Click again on that. There you go. Like that. No, just the general icon, nothing. You can, it doesn't matter. There's only one desktop, some people have many. I have many desktops and I could have started, but you have. This is the part that takes a while, as long as it's working. If it says again what it sent to you, then, yeah. Is that working for you? Your username is not Backbook? your username is your user, is E arrow McCarthy, or it's E McCarthy.
Okay, I got it.
This is your pipeline username, so
I have it written down.
E McCarthy. Okay.
Doesn't say the word.
I'm gonna probably have to tell everyone who's here to use their school computers, because this is.
That's it.
Okay, go ahead and say cancel. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. Try it again. With your pipeline username and password. Wait. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask. I can't do anything about connecting to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, you have to try to sign in, and if it works, it works. Some computers resist connecting. Looks like you two are not connecting. You're having trouble connecting. Is anyone else having trouble connecting to Wi-Fi? Are you on? You're the only ones trying Wi-Fi. Yeah, you're not
Check
getting
the
into
firewall.
VDI. Oh, if you have a firewall on your computer for protection, then you can't use VDI.
Well, is there a possible to figure it out?
That's up to your computer. I have no idea what software you have set up on your computer. That's you. You have a firewall, you have some protection, you have maybe, Norton, you have something protecting your computer from viruses that is stopping the process. That I have no idea about. What your computer is that's different than what's happening, because you got in, but you have something on your computer that's not letting you in. So here's the deal. Anne, the only one who successfully has gotten into VDI right now is you. I'm thinking that everyone here is gonna just have to use the school computers for today. Maybe I have to figure out something, leave the class a bit early, and I'll try to connect with tech support and have them figure out you guys, because that's stuff that is beyond what I don't know. I have no idea. The setup, the Wi-Fi is not in my control. Okay. So, Anne,
Yes,
go ahead and, first of all, we need to connect to Google. So if you got this page set up, go ahead and say get started and sign in if that's coming up for you.
yeah, so I did not get that pop-up box, but I tried to do this yesterday and it was different than the video, so I was just gonna check and see. If
They have changed the system, so,
there was something about, yeah, down below, I see my Google Drive when I click on that little up arrow. So if I click on that, will that tell me?
yeah, give me a second because something. Okay, I have to be honest with everyone. I try not to tell you much of the internal scenario here, but they had promised me that as of January, they would set up all the new computers here. And that's the only reason I agreed to start teaching in person. Well, now they told me on Friday, oh, sorry, we decided because logistically, we're not going to do it till summer. And this is not okay, as you can see, because it's now 11 a.m. and I'm still dealing with logistics that are technical that have nothing to do with Photoshop. So I needed to vent for a little bit, but I also need you guys to just give me a little bit of, how do you call it? I'm sorry. So, but give me some grace because this is.
Diane, can we complain to them? Would that help you?
There's not like you can play. They should have set up the whole lab during, they can't do it now. It's not
Oh, okay.
complaints. There's no possibility. You can write and say, oh, the computers aren't working, but you know, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna do about it? So let's do this. I'm trying to get this to stop, which is not stopping. Which is stop my share for a second because my VDI needs to, I'm gonna quit my VDI because it's not responding.
You know what happened?
I had to go out of it. You know, it kept telling me to use Edge browser and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'd go
That's-
out of it and come back in again, and eventually I, got through it without all those pop-ups.
Yeah,
but it-
that's what it's trying to get me to do too, which is I've never had it do that before, so
No, we're supposed to not use it.
we're not,
I think
which,
what happens, it got into Edge. Now I need to get out of Edge.
no, it's happening to me and to Anne. VDI for some reason is sending us all to use Edge, which it has never done before. And I was using this on Friday, teaching people on VDI for Photoshop from my home. But something's happening here. And I'm gonna write this down because I need to be able to explain what to the tech support, what's happening. And this is,
Yeah,
Is
try just signing in again, because eventually I got around it, but
well, I don't need VDI. It was just to help you, show you
Okay.
how to do this. So I am using a piece of paper here that is probably not to be written on, but I'm going to take note of what's happening. So that's 3 of us got sent to Edge on VDI. So as long as you got through and you have, so do you know if you have your Google Drive connected? Do you want to share your screen with me and I can see if you're set up for us to get going with the class files? Go ahead and share your screen. Hi, Barb, by the way.
Hi.
And Jean, you just joined us, but just hang in there. We're almost done with this. And okay, so first click on your share screen button, the green one.
are you saying Anne?
Yes, Anne.
Okay,
You're the only one who is successfully in VDI and who needs it. Everyone else here has a school computer.
okay, and
Right.
you want the screen with VDI, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And now head down at the very bottom, on the right side, it says A Miller, that little arrow. Yeah. Let's click on that. And then your Google seems to be lit up. So at least seems to be working and you're set up with Pipeline. You're good. All right. So now, yay, it's time to ask you to open Photoshop, everyone, and Bridge. So how do you do that? I'm going to help you since you're there sharing still. Go over to either you can type to search or you can go to the little
Okay, so it's right here.
set up already. Okay. Click on Photoshop and Bridge. And when you're on VDI, it's going to ask you to sign to the cloud. So now everyone here, everyone who's here, finally it's your turn. Go up to the top right of your screen. Since I'm demoing VDI, I don't see it right now, but there's a little magnifying glass and write the word Bridge, top right of your entire screen. Oh, so sorry. You don't need VDI, so you can close out of all of this.
I don't need it.
No.
I don't need the eye.
No, because you're at school, so you're fine. So just close Chrome, get rid of Chrome. It's just people who are unable to access Photoshop, but we do have it. So go to this little guy there, which is a
Yeah.
magnifying glass, and type the word Bridge.
Bridge.
Type the word Bridge. Okay.
So should I close this pop-up, Diana? See this?
Yes, close that pop-up and then type the word. So say, okay, don't worry, this is a VDI thing. Just say okay to that message. All right, and then close over here. If you notice on the top right, there's 2 X's top right. Go to the one that's the white one, not that one, not that one. No, down. There's 3 X's then. That one. Yeah, close that one. Cool. Now you've got Photoshop opened, which is good. Sit with it. Now go down, type to search and open Bridge.
Hi, Judy.
Okay, now open that app. And it should be asking you to sign into the Creative Cloud, but it might wait until you're, oh, I don't see it opening. Try again. I like to, instead of using the search, but I like to use, let me show you Plan B. Go to the left to that little Windows icon. Way to the left. Yeah, click on that one. And then right there, you'll see Adobe Bridge. See that? And then, which by the way, Bridge did open up. It's there. So that's a better way I find than typing the search. But anyway, you're done. So move away from this window. Bridge has opened up and Photoshop has opened up. Just sit there with it. Close that little window that just popped up where it says what's new. Go to the top right little X, right? That one. Yep. That one. Yep. I'm just helping her get to the class files. Everyone else will have them from here. Can you go up on the left side, go to this PC? Down a bit more, yeah. Nope, a bit higher above desktop.
Oh, this-
There,
Okay,
see? I just want to make sure that you're on Google Drive. And then your fourth icon to the right in the middle is the Google Drive icon. Double click on that. And then go to shared drives.
Are you talking to everyone right now?
This is just VDI. I'm sorry, I'm sharing VDI screen. Double click.
no items to display.
Okay, that's not good. You're registered in the class, aren't you?
Yep.
I didn't have my roster with me. Go back to Google Drive. At the top where it says Google Drive, shared drives, this PC, like go up a little bit higher up. Yeah, now go click on the word Google Drive. Yeah, and then open, double click my drive, because that one should work for you, because it's not a shared drive. Okay, so maybe you're not connected correctly to VDI. Go back to Google Drive and click on shared drives. We're gonna double click on shared drives. Now what we're gonna do is something else, which I'm gonna have everyone else do. So double click on shared drives. And then just leave it there. Double click to open it. Not opening?
There's something over here.
No, it should be from there. Okay, never mind. That's fine.
Try to right click on it and open. Is that good?
Sure. All right, now, you're gonna have, let me see if this classroom has the files, because if not, something's wrong with the class. Just sit there with it. Now I'm gonna stop your share. Oh, and I'm going to be with my class. And if anyone else has issues with the files, then it'll be a class problem and not you. But right now, that's where you should have found all the class files. Okay, guys, now I'm back with everyone here and with everyone at home who does not have VDI. So Laura and Jean, and hi, Libby.
Hi,
Nice to see you.
good to see you.
Oh, well, not to see you, but to hear you.
It just come up on this. And
On this,
I'm
yeah, and
gonna,
it, see how it says ABC.
I muted you, Libby, because we can all hear you and I see you're trying to connect. So let me know when you're ready for me to talk to you. Okay. Yeah, it's time for everyone else to join.
I
us.
got on my screen here that, to be able to, the surface, the Holy Bridge 124.
Yeah, no, but if you don't have it installed, it won't matter at all. So it's completely useless to it. No, you have to pay for it. You can't download anything on your computer. You can't, this is pipeline and you're not. So you're sure you did in your own computer, you never purchase and install it. So then that's taking it to site where you can download it once you pay. Okay, all right, guys. Here.
Look.
Everyone here, plus Laura, plus Jean, plus Barbara, plus Libby. The only one who already kind of is done is Anne, because she's got VDI. Everyone else here has either the school computers or at home you have Photoshop. So we first need to go to get the class files downloaded onto your computers. Everyone except for VDI users has to do that, which is basically everyone except for Anne. Okay, so I'm gonna.
Excuse me, Diana, they the same ones as you had us download Friday?
Yes, so you
Okay,
don't have to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna open a browser, and this time it's any browser, and on the bottom of your guys' computers, you see the word Safari or you see Chrome.
You already collected on Bridge.
But first we need to download the file. So if you've opened Bridge, then you can minimize that. Let me just, everyone who has the whole like, what's new or whatever, just close that window because,
Those are.
okay, so you're gonna get this sign in, create an, let's wait on Bridge, because everyone's still, we're doing two different things. So let's wait on Bridge for a second. I need you to be on the browser. So if you have Bridge open up. Click on it. Yeah. And for now, just go to the single arrow tab and. Say, okay, hold on.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, we'll time in together as well. So now open a browser. So open a browser. And then what happened here? Here, start it again. Open either Chrome or Safari. Okay, tell me when it's up again and you've signed in again. So anyone who's getting overwhelmed by the technicalities, it's not your fault. It's me trying to handle stuff that shouldn't have been this way. So imagine that everything that happened this beginning is not happening. Next time, everyone will just go straight to the school computers, or I'm gonna get tech support if someone really needs to use their VDI. Thing is that the people here the school expects to use their computers, right? And that if you're at home, you use VDI. So if here you can't connect to VDI, I have no idea what's happening, right? So, okay. Once you open a browser, we're going to go, I'm gonna open this one here. We're gonna go to school, sbcc.edu. Some of you guys already went to Pipeline, so sbcc.edu. And this is everyone at home. So I need to check in now with Laura and Jean and Barbara. And, oh, Jinsu is just joining us right now. Okay. Laura and Jean, you weren't here when I was saying that when I want people to say yes or no, like they're following through. I need you to go to the reactions and say yes with the green check mark. So go ahead and test that if you know where that is, to say, yeah, I'm here, or no, I'm not here, that kind of thing. And since Barbara's already done this, she has the files, and Jinsu, who just joined, has it too. And Libby, what's your situation? Are you going to be joining us on your computer, or are you just listening in? Libby?
Sorry, I had a bizarro thing happen with my computer as I was starting it up. And so I'm on my phone right now.
Yeah, I can see. Okay. So, well, let me know when you're set up with your computer and I'll help you catch up. But you have Photoshop, or were you on VDI?
Yeah, I've got Photoshop, and I'm gonna have to, I had a previous appointment set up for in about a half an hour. So I'm gonna have to jump out and come back in about an hour and a half.
So Libby, here's what we're gonna do. And this is something I'm gonna tell everyone listen for a second. This is for everyone. Libby knows that she's been in my class before, but this is for everyone. Since these classes are being recorded, this disaster of first hour has been recorded too. But we're gonna record everything. And because of the recordings, you are expected to catch up by watching the recording if you miss a portion of the class. And I'm telling it to everyone. Libby knows this and she knows. So right now that you've opened the browser, I'm about to take you to the class files. In those class files, you have a link that will take you to the recording of today's class. There's many other things in there. But if you have to miss half an hour, she has an appointment in half an hour and then has to come back, that's fine. Go do your appointment, come back, which is one of the advantages of being, maybe she has a phone meeting, who knows? And then she can come back, but you missed a chunk in the middle, at the beginning or at the end. You must watch the middle, the beginning, or the end. But if you miss the class completely, you must watch the whole thing. That way, when you come back next week, you've caught up. Now, there's possibly questions you'd have as if you had been in class that I can help you with, but at least you're not a whole week behind. And then the second thing is, the good news is, a lot of people love it, that they can go back and review. They can actually, during when we're not in class, go and review the videos for stuff that they want to practice. So there's two reasons for those videos. So anyway, but Libby knows that. And now I'm going to show everyone where the class files are. This is what we're doing. We're going to download the class files, but there's also right there a page that I'll show you that has all the links to our recordings and links to other stuff that you're going to get to use. Okay. So, so Jean, did you find the yes and the no's? Under the reactions, the smiley face? Do you see
Is
the
that in the reaction?
Yeah, reactions. So the green
Yes.
check mark would mean yes. Can you click on yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. Cool. So now, let me share my screen again, and everyone now is going to do what I'm doing. Every single person in this entire place, except for Anne. That's the only one on VDI right now, because you're there, you did this. We're gonna head over here to the left to pipeline. Some of you might have already signed in or not, but you're going to sbcc.edu, Manuel. So to school. Hold on, you don't need that yet? You don't need that yet. You need to go to sbcc.edu. Okay, so sbcc.edu. And then you're gonna click on the P for pipeline. Okay, sbcc.edu,
I'm sorry, you're what?
SBCC. Click- oh, yeah, okay, SBCC
SBCC
dot
dot
edu.
edu.
Cool. I hit the return or shift or anything. And then go to the P for pipeline.
Okay,
Okay,
So I'm still on this.
you need to write sbcc.edu. And you click in here. Where it says welcome. sbcc.edu. I know because everyone's getting accustomed to different computers. This you only need to do today to download the class files. After that, all we need is Photoshop because that's it. But right now, each computer has to download the class files. So then put in your username and password and log in. If you have two-factor authentication like you do.
Go back to pipeline.
75470. What's that?
Oh,
P for pipeline, yeah.
I had already logged in.
No, but you logged in to open the computer. Now we're logging in to get class files. So yeah, you'll get to the point that you'll learn your username and password a lot because we need it to sign into the iCloud. And then the first time you sit, let me just say that ideally you'll sit on the same computers so that you don't have to sign into things again. Nor download class files again. And the whole point is that in the sign up sheet, I forgot to ask you, there's a place for computer number. And if you look at the bottom of your computers, it has week 3 and 12. Well, 12 is your computer. N3 and 14 or whatever. So go to your name and on the handout, on the roster and sign in. Even if you think you'll remember, please go in and do it because then next time someone comes and sits there and I won't remember. And we don't want to kick people off. We want everyone to just know what computers they're in. Okay, so once you get here, everyone go to the word student. And then down to the word student resources. Click on student resources. And when you click on student resources, okay, student resources, then you should be on this page. Once you're on this page, then we're going to, oh, I need to get mine. Look at my screen here.
Yeah.
Right here, it says home student,
Oh,
right? So the second choice is student resources. Mhm. And then on the far right, you should see this thing called Google Drive. Now this is where I sent Anne, and she didn't have the class files. Now the question is, do the rest of you have the class files? Okay, so
It will
E
take my
McCarthy,
password.
and this is correct, MC McCarthy. Okay, and there's no
Yeah.
space there. Okay, so give it another try. Is that correct?
That is correct. No, I didn't do
But these things are normal. We have typos on stuff. All right, so Laura, you're coming in with another computer. Great. There we go. Hi, Laura.
Hey, thanks for letting me back in.
All right, so what's that? Once you get here, on the left side, you need to click on the word shared drives.
which of the?
I'll go help you everyone now, but go to the left shared drives. You have a whole little, hey, welcome, new user, whatever, just close it. That means you haven't used this Google Drive before.
So go to Google Drive.
Go to
and-
student,
it. Student,
go to student and then student resources. 2 down,
got it.
okay? Regular click this one.
Sorry?
This click,
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then, okay, try that again. Doesn't seem to have responded. There it is. And now click on Google Drive. Yeah, Google Drive for you, Matt. Yeah, Google Drive, John. You're here. And you're here. Great. And you're here. You're one step ahead, double click. Welcome to shared drive, just say got it. All right. Click on, you know what, you're using your left button or this,
Well, I'm
which
not used
doesn't
to
work.
this,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, it's weird. You need to use that one because
Okay.
this is doing something different for you. That's why it keeps saying,
I'm sorry.
here, let me click away. So it's this one, but when you click on your right click, you'll get these kind of weird things. And then it doesn't give you that, you know, it just messes up. So just look at your mouse when something's not working and click on this side. Okay,
This side here.
yeah, because there's that little wheel there that you're pressing that's messing it up. Okay, so once you got here, Laura and Jean, are you here? You
No.
see one thing that says Photoshop shared drive. That's all you should be seeing. I
I
have it.
missed how to get to the drive. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so on the left side, click on shared drives.
Hold on. I'm not,
Oh,
sorry.
you're not
I'm
there yet.
swapping.
You're here.
There we go. Thank you. So student, great,
Sources.
student resources. Okay.
And then
And
Google
then,
Drive.
okay. All right. Great.
To
I'll
get
catch
to
up.
Google
Thank you.
Drive, it'll have you in My Drive. And My Drive is your drives, like Jane's drive, Jonathan's drive, like your school drive where you put your class files. But I don't have access to that. Shared drives is me. I made a folder full of class files and you all are supposed to be able to access them. And you would have one here only. This is all the classes I teach, so I have many, but you would have one called Photoshop Shared Drive. So double click on the one called Photoshop Shared Drive and you should be in here. Now, at the beginning, people have this window here that is useless and takes up a lot of extra space. So if you can find this little X and close it, that'll make things have more space to work on. There we go. And here we are. If you're here, give me a yes. Those of you who are at home, give me a yes. Now, for better or for worse, Anne, everyone else has this Photoshop shared drive and you don't. So I'm wondering if you need to re-sign out, you're muted. You might need to sign out and sign into Google Drive again because it's not the class. So you were trying to say something, Anne? Your mouth is.
Oh, yeah, I was saying maybe I didn't get that part done. I really don't remember anymore how I got here. So
Let me help everyone finish getting these. Everyone's going to start getting these classes DAF files downloaded. And then I'll ask you to share and I'll see about your Google Drive. So everyone else, everyone that's not Anne, if your name is not Anne, to me, go to the spring 2024 Photoshop test files. Don't double click, just select it. Just select it like that. Just one single click right there. Then say right click and download. And then we'll just sit there and wait for a little bit while this thing downloads and while I help everyone else get here. So double click here or right click and open, whichever you prefer. Yeah, there we go. Go to shared drives. And then we're going to say, got it, got it. They're like, oh, you're here for the first time. Yeah. So just say okay to all of that. And let's close this window that we don't need. Good. And now double click right there.
Double click.
Yep. And now right click, and that's, you get to use this right one on this spring file and say download. But yeah, perfect. But that you should use your regular button for.
Yeah.
Good, and it's downloading. So now just sit there and wait.
Okay.
Okay, perfect, right? Oh yeah, you're looking at things a little bit differently than we are, only because of this choice, which is fine. I prefer this choice in fact too. No, but in the past, some other time that you've used it, it respects your other. So this is the same. This is lines, and this is little previews. You're in the same spot. So if you're comfy with this is just that way. Before you do it that way, I'm going to switch to this video. Now go to that one and do a right click and download. Right click, and download. Awesome. And yours is downloading? Everyone's downloading?
Nope.
Okay, you went in one of it too soon, so go back to Photoshop shared drive, you're in the class files. Yeah, went up to Photoshop shared drive. Yeah, and now, go to this one and right click,
This one.
right click
Oh, right.
and download.
Oh,
Cool. So everyone should have, okay, I'm watching every single person, did you, yours are downloading?
I think I downloaded it.
Yep, okay, great. Let me make sure everyone has them downloaded. How's it going? Everyone here has them downloaded. Jean, Laura, you guys downloaded them? Jinsu,
Yeah.
Jinsu, these are the same as last time, as last Friday. So if you downloaded them last Friday, then you should be fine. Libby is battling with her computer. Barb, you have them already, so we're down to just Anne. I'm gonna stop my share. Anne, can you share your screen so that I can figure out what's up with that you're not getting the files? Everyone now?
Okay, so you want to see my virtual or my Zoom?
Never your Zoom. I need to see the screen where you have your VDI. Yeah, your virtual, so that I can help you.
Let's see.
Great, Libby, they're downloading. Perfect. You'll be back later. Okay, great. All right. So just so you guys can see what's happening, I'm here. This is Anne's computer. So just so you know what's happening, but you don't need to do anything. Okay. So let's go back to the word this PC on the left of this thing. Yeah. And first we're going to go check and see, well, your Google Drive does seem connected. Let's give it one more try this way. And if not, we're going to disconnect from Google Drive and connect again. Yeah. Double click.
Okay, I did double click. And it appeared over on the side
Yeah,
here.
that's just a preview. So forget that. Just double click again. Try again.
Sometimes
Or right click. Yeah. Click and open. And then right share drives, click and right click and open if that's easier. And it's still empty. Okay. So let's go down to that icon, the little triangle at the very bottom bar. We're going to re-sign into Google Drive. So at the bottom right, that little up arrow that you, yeah, perfect. Click on Google Drive there. And we're going to go to the gears. And we're going to say quit. Okay. So now you're going to go down to the type here to search. And we're starting again with your drive and write Google Drive. We're going to sign you in again and see if this time it gives you the class files. Okay, there it is. Open the app. It's thinking. Usually when you're sharing your screen on VDI, the thinking gets even slower, but it's coming up. Okay. You know what? Can you minimize bridge? Do you know how to do that? Just, or no, not so we can see under your screen. So go up to the, keep going up a little bit higher until there's that. Yeah, that's maximize. Go to the left one, the restore. Oh, minimize. Yeah, click on that one for a minute. You can see what's happening and then minimize your Photoshop too. I want to see what's happening to your Google Drive. Has probably got a window behind you. No, it's signing in automatically. Go to the little arrow because you opened it and maybe it just automatically signed you in. It seems so because there, go to the icon, the Google icon. It seems to be connected. Let's try it through bridge one more time. Normally it should have you sign out and sign in, but when you connect, it automatically connects. So I'm not sure if it's doing a new connection. Go down to the taskbar now and see the BR for bridge. Right to the left. Yeah, oh, you passed it. No. Where you go to the right, all those icons, the last one is the BR. Right. Yep, that one. And then open that up. And now we need to refresh the screen. Go up to the word desktop that's highlighted on the left. On the left side, there's a, yeah, and then go up. And to the left, two icons, three icons. Wait, no, you were fine where you were. Hi. Do you mind coming to maybe this computer right here? Okay. So you see the little camera that you were just touching? Yeah. Up where you are, exactly. Now to the left, two icons, to the left, left.
Left, okay.
That one. Go to the little arrow, to the little thing and click. Yeah, we need to refresh.
When you say right here, the reveal.
Yes. Yeah. Go to Google Drive. Yeah, click on that. Okay, now try share drives and let's hope against all hopes that your stuff is there. Yes. Okay, Photoshop shared drive. Double click on that. You just joined us, but this has been a very frustrating technical morning.
Oh, look, it came
Oh,
up.
they're there. Yes.
Magic.
Hallelujah. Okay, great. Stop for a minute. Don't do anything, you guys. What I'm gonna show her right now, you guys are gonna have to do in a minute. So just watch because you're not there yet. Okay, go to that folder that says Spring 2024. Click on it and drag it right to the left side where you see some blank space. And don't let go yet. Keep going to your left. Don't let go and go down there. Let go. Yes. Now click on that link. And there you are. It'll take a second, but those are your class files. Yes, they're coming. Woohoo! You're set.
Thank you.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, she's done. Now, the rest of us. And now first, I need to welcome a student who just joined us. Hi,
Hey,
what's your name?
David Walker.
David. Have I met you before? You look slightly
think so.
familiar. No, sometimes I see faces that I haven't taught in prison for 4 years, and sometimes it's like, so David, do you know your username and password?
Sure. Yeah, I'm sorry, there.
Pipeline username and password, do you know it?
No, I don't have one. So we get one of those.
If you, were you, oh, someone seems to be trying to do it. Oh, so sorry. Have you ever taken a class with us before?
You don't have no.
All right, so.
Alicia wanted me to come over.
Hi. So you need to go to the front office and tell her that she needs to set you up with a pipeline account. Back there space because you can't get into the computer without it. Is that Alicia? Anna said
Okay.
that you need to get your pipeline account.
See that? Files.
Yeah.
You have the Mac.
Nothing, doesn't matter if it's Mac or PC. Nothing matters until you get your pipeline because you didn't get that. So go do that. I'm hoping about it. Get yourself a pipeline user name and password.
Sorry.
All right. Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ken, so nice to see you. Well, Ken's a good old friend of our class here. So, Ken, you want to sit on the inside because actually it's easier for me. Everything looks like it's on, but it's because I was trying to do Zoom. So today we're not doing Zoom. Do you want to try this computer or that computer or this computer? No, yeah, no, this is, which one do you prefer? This one, okay. This one here. So I'm gonna sign Mark out. I'm going up on Zoom for people.
Actually, I signed up. I thought I was signing for this class, but the CRN I used was for the class that started last week.
Yeah, this one, but you're in the personal one. Let me.
Yeah, I did.
You know what? I need to sign you out. Can you sign in here so that I can sign you out, Mark? Can you sign in here so I can sign you out? Sorry, everyone at home. We just got 2 people show up. By the way, class starts at 10.
Yeah, I.
Yeah, you're good. But. Okay. And here you go. Do you remember your pipeline username and password, I hope?
Well, I had to get a whole new one, so.
All right, we'll try to sign in. If you can sign in, good, and if not, you gotta go to the front office. So I can't help with pipeline accounts because you need a magical number that only admission staff have. So I'm useless when it comes to passwords. Okay, there we go. All right, so for people, so now Anne is set. Now for everyone else who is at home and or online, everyone except for Anne and Barbara. When you downloaded these files, they went to your downloads folder, okay? Now, when they go to your downloads folder, two things happen. One of the things that happens is that your, it's a folder with a lot of files. So some of your computers are set up to extract, it's one folder called the zipped file that downloaded. Some of your computers just extract them automatically, and some of them you need to extract them yourselves. Since the people here, I know what you have, but people at home, I don't know. So we're gonna try, do I want to try this with you guys or just take you to? So here's what we're gonna do. Everyone who's here, this is a one-time only thing that we all need to do. We're downloading files onto your computers, okay? This is it. This is the one time. But you need to sit in the same seats, all right? So since no one but Jane seems to that, no one does that. I feel we did it. Can you pass this down and have everyone write? To the right of your signature, please write the computer number that you're on. Okay? That will be the computer will sit on so that you have the class files. If you tomorrow sit somewhere else and you sign in as username and password, it'll let you in, but all your class files will be left on the other one, right? So if you really hate it, it's not working, something's wrong with that computer, you need to be near or closer to hear me, to see me, we can certainly change computers. But if all's working kind of where you are is good, then please sit on your same computers next classes. All right. So we're gonna go down here to this little icon. It's reminding me of breaks, but I need to get the files down before I give anyone a break. This icon, the Finder icon, you might be a Mac or a PC user. You won't have to worry about this in the future. Just click on it one time. And on the left side, go to the word downloads. And I'm looking for the pointer here. Because my laser thing ran out of that. Downloads. And at the very top of your downloads, you should see Spring 2024, or maybe it's at the bottom. It should be there. It's a little zipper on it. Double click on it so that it expands, and then you'll have a folder. That's what you need to do. Now, is anyone at home have a PC? And I can show you how to do that. So Jean and Laura, which would be the two people I need to know from home. Have you?
I'm good.
You're
I
good?
did, yeah.
And Jean, are you good?
Yes.
You got them expanded. Okay, so let me make sure everyone here has them expanded. Perfect. Let's head over here to this icon. There. And go to downloads. And you've got them expanded, good. Expanded. We don't need this yet. We need, I'm gonna do this for you only because we need to get ourselves the pass out really quickly. So I'm gonna do this for you. That you. Do that you.
All right, already got it.
Line.
You did?
Okay, sign in. All right, expanded. You got files. You can double click on that thing that says Spring 2024, so it expands. Perfect. All right, everyone here has expanded their files. Okay. That's all we needed to do. We needed to expand the file. Now we can close this window, guys. Look at which window I'm closing. Not anything else, but just this one, the one that says download that we just finished. Click on this little red dot. We don't need this anymore. Okay? Click on that little red dot. We don't need this anymore. Okay. And once you are here, We now have the class files. Just wait for me to check. There's one more student. Okay. Close this little window right there.
Okay.
And you're in the right spot. Here, I'm just gonna take you quick because I rarely do things for people that they need to learn, but this one time download the class files and then you're done. So there's no learning needed. It just needs to happen. So I'm just doing it because I need this to. Everyone did this before you came, and now you're almost there. So. Once it finishes downloading, it'll be here. And. Okay, when this finishes. Oh, it's so I'm doing. So the only time I do things for people when it's extraneous, so to say, to the class. Otherwise, you're always going to be on your own to get things done. Okay, good. Perfect. You're in the same spot as everyone else. All right. Yay. Okay, so let me just check in with people at home. Laura and Jean. Are you in the class files? In your case, you're inside of BDI, but you're able to do this on any browser, not inside of BDI. So you can do this. You don't have to go all the way to BDI to get to this folder. You can use any browser, go into student resources and get this. Because I want to show you two things. So what we're doing right now is we're in the shared drive, which you can see differently than me, depending on where you're at, because see this little window here or icon here, you don't need to change this, but some people have it in this setting. And in this setting, it shows you like little mini previews of all the handouts that I have here. And if you're in this setting, it shows you the names of the files. Does that make sense? But it's exactly the same thing. So your preference, if you want to see them that way or this way, your choice, but just so you know, you're looking at the same thing. Now, the first file right under the folder, which for people watching it this way would be this one. For people looking at it this way would be this one. It says Friday Zoom class recording links. I am teaching another Photoshop right now that is on Friday. And that's for them. The second one says HYFLEX Monday and Wednesday class recording. That is us. Got it? That is us. So we're going to double click on the second one. And if it looks like this, again, Friday Zoom class versus HYFLEX Monday, Wednesday, that's the one we want. So you can either double click or you can right click and open with, and open whichever you prefer. If you do right click open with, it's with Google Docs. Otherwise, I just, double click. And here it's opening up. So double click on that second, this second, yeah, that one. Okay. You got it? You got it? Everyone has it?
No, I got different.
Okay, so you went into the class files.
See, yeah, it doesn't have those,
Oh, here, yeah, because you're in. You're in basketball. There we go.
okay.
Yeah, changing modes. So there we. Yeah, sure. Okay, for some reason you're getting. You've got some setting here that's making you not see. Oh, beautiful. There we go. Let's see. No, I don't know what you're seeing too, but this is the one. So don't click on that.
Oh, yeah.
This is the mess.
509.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure what you're seeing too, but anyway, that one. Okay, go click on that. I don't know what you're seeing. All right. The here on the guys have this history, we should have, we have the history, this is the end of the file. Bizarre. What is it behind there? From the last time we did this class. Last. Oh, because you're on last modified by you. This. It's not letting me. Okay, this way at least they know it's that one. That's what I'm not right now. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to find out. There's a filter too if you guys have, which is only giving you the files that you've modified, so you're not getting mine. Okay, guys, look at my screen. All right, me. This is our, like, the main file you guys need to know how to get to. Because I have a bunch of stuff here, including over here, I will have the links to every single class. Now, that link won't be here until the day after the class. So in our case, on Mondays, it won't be up there until Tuesday. On Wednesdays, it won't be up there until Thursday. I might put it up earlier depending, but for the most part, I teach here until 6 p.m. And then I have to go home and set it up. And if the YouTube has to give captions, it goes on YouTube. It's a private YouTube. So it's not like everyone will see you in class, but you have to click on the link. So you need to have this link available, access to Pipeline Editor to have that link, okay? So when you click on it, you will see our class recording. That's just so people don't suddenly think, oh, I'm on YouTube. When I say YouTube, it gets all worried about it. You need to get all through these hoops and loops to get to this link. And that's where you will be able to review the class. All right, now there's videos here after today. Keep an eye on your emails and your junk mail because I will send you an email with these links because guess what? These links are necessary. And what if you don't remember how to get back in here? So you will have one email with me with these links. But in the future, you either have to know how to get here or use that email to get back to these things, which are how to use VDI, which right now it's only Anne. How to set up two-factor authentication, which you guys will all need to do it in a few months, but for now only VDI peoples. How to download the files, you've just downloaded them. But these are little videos that explain stuff. How to access the shared drive for class handouts and recording links. So I'm going to send you this email. And if you don't remember how to do what we just did, this video shows you this process. So if you get home and you go, how do I see the recordings? Check for an email from me. Okay. And then look for the thing, how to access shared drive. And it'll show you through the steps, which is basically SBCC pipeline, Google, students, Google Drive, shared drives. Here we are. So it took us a long time, but it's 4 clicks and you're here. But at first you need to help. And then there's 2 other important links right here. And we're going to be talking about those next. But first, I want to make sure that everyone can see their class files in Bridge. And we're going to take a nice break because I've run roughshod over all the breaks trying to get the files down. Now, actually, I know you guys have the files. I've seen them. So we don't need to do this before the break. Let's just do a break. And when we get back, we'll open Bridge and immediately start working with the actual Adobe Photoshop and Bridge files. Now, when we take a break, I want to make sure that everyone has a good time frame. This is a long class. Usually we'll do a 15-minute break. If you need like one long in the middle. If you need 2 shorts later when you come back, I'll see if this worked, although today is an anomaly, so maybe you'll all be needing a break sooner. We can either do 2 short ones in the future, or we could do 1 15-minute break. It's 11:52. So 15 minutes, please. Some of you math geniuses there.
11:60.
Sorry, I'm muted. Yes, I'm still here.
11 what?
And 67, 12:07.
5:07? Oh, 12:07. My brain at this point can't deal with also trying to figure out PM. Okay,
I was
So-
playing with your mind by saying 11:67.
by 12:05 PM, I need you all at your computer. So if you have a Siri or a timer or those, tell it, remind me, you know, I tell my phone, I say, Siri, set timer for 12 minutes. That is gold because, right? If you guys have that set up in 12 minutes, you'll be reminded that you have 2 minutes to make it back to the class. Let's be back here at 12:05.
Leave things as they are.
Leave things as they are.
Do we
Yeah.
have to do two-factor?
What?
Do we have to do two-factor to sign in?
Not until,
But can you go to one-factor?
no, you'll have to at some point do two-factor because it's a security issue, the state, the chancellor, UCSB, it's a whole, city call it, it's every single school in the world, including high schools, elementary, everyone has to have this set up as of next session. So it's not a whim kind of thing, I wish. All right, great. Let's all take a break. You don't have to leave, right? You're not like, you can just sit there and enjoy, but I would recommend stretching your legs and having a break.
Drinking fountains, water fountains, something like.
There are drinking fountains in the back, right?
Can we go to Starbucks and bring something back from there?
Yeah, hurry up.
Okay, we can't have the room though, right? We can't bring in the room.
Right. No, food has to stay, yeah, eat outside. If you can drink, you can leave it in the back table, but food you cannot bring in here at all. So there's tables outside to eat. If you brought your
Vending
lunch,
machines, don't they, in the, they have vending machines?
they have
Yeah.
vending machines. Let me walk out with you. I'm gonna plug this in so that it gets charged while we're gone. And then I'll walk you out to the vending machines.
You must be worn out.
I mean, mainly I'm concerned, you guys might get all, I mean, yes, I'm concerned about technology, but not, and, I'd have liked to be here earlier in the morning, let's just say,
Yeah.
at the point where I'm at, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. I need
I'm
glasses for this.
no longer working in China, you know.
Oh, yeah, after the pandemic.
And I'm going to be doing YouTube videos for on climate change.
Oh, wow.
And I was wondering if you have any recommendations on a class that I could take to go work on that.
I'm actually hopefully trying to set one up. Let me, I need a break.
Yeah, I know.
Talk to you later. I need to go and have some coffee and I need to go talk to the people about the tech stuff that's happening with the fact that none of you could get on VDI or Wi-Fi from here. That is something I need to get done. Then we can.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
whenever.
But there's actually, I'm trying to teach a video editing class that's not set up yet. So I don't know of any here. that are set up. Guys, here's the thing. If you're not gonna leave, that's fine, but the last one out has to close the door because people have left their things here. So this room has to stay locked if there's no one in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you guys are gonna stay, fine, but if you're coming out with me and you're the last one, Ken, then please close the door.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You're all coming?
It won't be locked and just closed, right?
It'll be locked because people are leaving their
Okay.
valuables.
Yeah.
Was that 15 minutes? Because I said 12 minutes and it just rang. Maybe it wasn't 15, maybe the calculation was wrong. No, it was 11:01. Oh, well, whatever. The thing should have run. All right,
Well, it's 12:05 now.
yeah,
It's supposed to be 12:06. Oh, excuse me, sorry, my fault, your fault.
I'm just opening a little bit ahead of time. All right. So, when you guys who are at home are in the house, can you please give me a little sign of life? Give me a yes, saying that you're there. So that's for hygiene.
You
I-
are, you have a difficult job.
Well, that's a good question. And it's a helicopter or something. Ken, would you mind?
It's a lawnmower.
Is that a lawnmower? You mind closing the door, almost closed, because two
Yeah.
people need to come in still.
Yep.
There's a little like a tab to the door where you can keep it semi-open. Yeah, sorry. So I was trying to talk to the question here, but the lawnmower, sorry, we couldn't hear ourselves speak. Can somebody, this is helpful, can somebody close that window? I having the curtains on,
Oh.
because I'm noticing, because especially when you start with Photoshop, you need to see the images well, and I wasn't noticing. That's enough, yeah, Mark, on your side, that's enough, because there's a tree there, this showed the sky. Perfect, thank you. All right, so. Is someone missing? Yeah, well, and two people. If we can't hear ourselves, then we'll close the door completely. Okay, so, they can just pull at the door as long as someone's ready to jump up and open the door. That's great. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, this isn't, I don't, unfortunately, when they mow the lawn, it tends to be on a pattern, which means at this time every Monday we might hear, oh, there's someone. Someone had a good question, which is when do we take a lunch break? So here's the thing, normally this class runs from 9 to 12:30 and then people run off to lunch. For some bizarre, scheduling practice, they started at 10. I have never started a class at 10 in all my years, 28 years of teaching here. And it ends at 1:25. And I know that by now people are getting quite nippy. So try to bring yourselves a big, strong snack or have something to eat before you walk into class, because I don't have extra time before or after to teach to give you like an hour for lunch or something like that. We can extend it to 20 minutes maybe if we desperately need to. But try that, bring yourself something before, after, in the middle, and then there's vending machines. They're not healthy things in the vending machines, but anyway. Yeah, it's that in between time when I have a class that needs lunch, it'll be a much longer class, and when it's not, but it's at the time. Okay, so great. Let's start with Bridge. So some of you already opened Bridge because I had asked you to do it, and then I went on to download the class files. If you did, then you'll see on the bottom of the screen, let me share my screen now. To share the entire, oh, it's sharing the entire thing, okay. If you're on a Mac, then you will have a magnifying glass way up here on the top right. When I say way up here, I move my mouse a bit so you guys can see it. I'm gonna put a little light to the tip of my mouse. Maybe I can do that. So that it's there. That little white dot is kind of following me around a bit. That's my mouse. So over there on the Mac, you can click on that in the spotlight search and you can just write the word bridge there. Hello?
I don't have a,
And then we need to find this thing that says Adobe Bridge 2024.
wait, I don't have a.
you don't have that little search icon way on the top right of your entire screen because you are having a name. in the front. There it is.
Oh, that one.
That one. The name tag was in the way. If you're on a PC, I showed you how I demoed it with Anne, that you type on the search on the bottom left. Once everyone has their bridge open, we're going to go ahead and, for those of you at home, give me a yes. So I know that you're all good with bridge. I think, and mine is opening up. I'm going to stop my share for a second. My computer operates slower when it's sharing. So I'm going to open up faster by stopping my share before I start working on it again.
We're opening Adobe Bridge.
We're opening Adobe Bridge. Now,
So do we need to install the bridge 2024?
yes, I'm sorry, everyone who came in earlier, I forgot to catch you up with it. Definitely, we need to have, sorry if I didn't repeat it. You need,
Oh, no worries. Do I just go to on Google and download that?
well, go to your cloud, to your
Google Drive?
iCloud, and then download Google from your app, Adobe Cloud, from the Creative Cloud.
Oh,
app.
Adobe Cloud. Oh, okay.
You know how to do that? Want to share your screen? I can show you how to do that.
Let me see. I know I have Adobe Cloud, the creative, that whole thing, but I honestly don't know my
Yeah, so go ahead and share your screen, which, by the way, everyone else had to show me how to share their screen, and I noticed now that I didn't do that with you because you came in a bit later. And so I'm gonna walk you through that. Have you ever shared your screen before?
Yes, let me see.
You know how to do it, otherwise I can walk you through it. Let me know. There's the big share screen button that's green on Zoom, and then there's one more at the bottom right.
Is oh yeah. Okay.
Found it?
Yeah. Do I just share desktop one wide? Just let me do this.
You can share whichever one you prefer,
Go
but
ahead.
I prefer the entire desktop because when I'm trying to help you with something like installing a program, if you share the top left choice, the desktop,
Yeah.
bottom right, you'll see the little blue word that says share with white letters.
Oh, it asked me to go to my settings.
You're in a Mac. Okay, so say okay, go to your settings, say okay to that.
Okay.
And then once you're there, you should see on the right side, you should see the word Zoom, or scroll up and down to see the word, scroll up and down to see the word Zoom, the right column. And then on the right, you'll have a slider where you can turn it on, green versus
Yeah.
gray. And then it'll say you need to sign in your password or put in your.
Yeah, I did, but now it's saying
Now it says, now or later, say later.
do it again.
Okay, now.
I think it's
There
working now.
we go. Here we are. You're sharing your screen. Okay. So what we need to do, okay, so now go to your search bar up at the very top, the same little icon I was having people search on, top right of your entire screen, not there. It's not gonna her.
So where do I go? To go here?
No, you're gonna search for an application on your computer. So very top right next to the where your computer's date is, very top right of your entire display.
Here?
Yeah, the spotlight, the search, right? That little icon, that one. Click on that. Oh, you missed it. The magnifying glass.
Yes.
And now, right, Adobe Cloud.
Bridge.
No, because if you don't have it, no, you would have to install it. No, the Creative Cloud.
Oh, there you go. Is that this? Adobe-
No, Creative Cloud. Just write Creative Cloud then. What's it called? What's the icon called? Hold on.
I think the icon's called Bridge.
No. She has to download it. It's called, she has to download the application. It's called Creative Cloud. So delete all of that and write just Creative Cloud. There it is. Wait. Yeah, no, that's it. There we go. Okay. Now scroll down there a bit lower and find bridge. There it is. And install. There we go. Now just wait and watch while it installs, and then when it's installed, it'll you'll do whatever the rest that we're, oh, conflict installing bridge, wait. Why?
Oh, I've already got it.
Oh, because you have things open. Yeah, you have to close your Photoshop. Go to Photoshop, close your Lightroom, any other Adobe programs that you have. And it still says conflict?
Yeah.
Did you close Photoshop? Quit Photoshop, quit
Yeah.
any other Adobe app. It's not quitting, so just say cancel for a second and quit everything. Okay, now it's downloading. Okay, good. I'm gonna stop your share because it's downloading. It's
Okay.
installing. All right, who else is there? Laura is a yes. Jean is working, and you've got Bridge and Jinsu. Okay, great. I'm moving you out of the way because I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, there's a question here. Yes,
How do you get free?
hold on. That's what I'm going to do with everyone right now. People here have the application set up, but people at home had to download them, and not everyone did that in time. Okay. It looks like I need a hand. Someone needs a hand over here. Oh, because I didn't have you yet. So a lot of you will see a thing that says sign in for the Creative Cloud account. Like it says, sign in to user create account. You don't need to create an account. You need to put in your pipeline user, your pipeline email. So right now it seems only you can. So it's your pipeline, at pipeline.sbcc.edu. Come on. Okay. Here. Might tell you to sign in. You're all set. Literally. Okay, it's your sign in at your group, so K Masuda or whatever it is, whatever your username is. At pipeline. .sbcc. Say next. This time only K Masuda. When you're in, when City College asks you for the username is only your name. When like Google or someone asks for your account, that's the entire username at pipeline.sbcc.edu. So Bridge and Adobe want your entire thing. And then they send you the pipeline who only wants your username. So it does get a bit confusing there. All right. Log in. Okay, so does everyone have access? Everyone here has signed in? Have you? No, you didn't do it yet. Hold on. If you have a what's new in front of you, you need to sign in. Continue with Google. And put in your, again, the whole E. McCarthy at pipeline.sbcc.edu. You go ahead and close this. I didn't notice that the sign was right in there. And okay, you don't have to say it. So you're all set. Yes. How about you? Okay. Continue with Google. This is it. It's one time only that your computer needs to know that you're okay, which is another reason why I'm saying you should stick to your same computer, because this, if not, you have to do repeatedly. Okay, say, oh, no, hold on. That was, go back. This would be.
It says phone.
Yeah, email would be E McCarthy. It's your username. It's your pipeline username. At pipeline. Pipeline.sbcc. That you feeling good, Mark? Dot SBCC.
I'm sorry.
Dot SBCC.
SBCC.
.edu.
EDU.
Yep, perfect. Say next.
Next. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, same, yeah. Now, just E. McCarthy. It's like, come on, how can you make it less user friendly? Okay, that's it, and now your computer school password. All right, oh, I forgot to connect my microphone for you guys in the back. I have to charge, it doesn't keep its charge. And every break, and I'm teaching here until 5 today, and every break I have to recharge it, which is. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. All right. Great. So now everyone should be in something, if you're either in a you're all set window, in which case you can go back to Bridge. And when I say go back to Bridge, look at my screen, you guys. If you're on a Mac, which is people here in this computer are, no matter where you need to go, you can use this dock. So say that you are right now, like, I don't know, Safari, or I don't have anything else open. So say I'm on Zoom and so these little dots right here show me the app that I'm on, right? So if anything is in your way, like the you're all set is in your way, it's because the browser is open. So you can, look what I'm gonna do. Just on the, you don't need to close, move things around. Look, you go to the dock and you click on the BR and it takes you just back to Bridge. And then when you want to go back, say to Safari, you click on Safari and you go back to Safari. Now I'm going to just go back to Bridge. Okay. Now, if you're on a PC, which in this case, I know for sure it's Anne, the same thing. There's a taskbar here that's black, the one we used before. And then you have the little icon, BR and stuff like that. If you already opened Photoshop, it would say PS. So that's how we're going to say when we switch from one complication to the other. Instead of moving things around that everyone begins to do that, and that makes you not see the buttons and the things. If you're an actual Mac user and you want to help with your Mac and how to use your Mac and organize files and everything, and you have the endurance, this afternoon, I'm beginning the Mac classes and they start at 2 p.m. So anyone who feels they want to hone in on all their Mac skills, it'll be from 2 to 5. And I know it's a long day, but some people love it. They want to come here all day and stay. So I'm just letting you know, you're welcome to do that. Okay. Here we go. Is my screen is I'm gonna share my entire screen right now. Good. Everyone should be here. Now, when I say here, I mean this is Bridge is open. And what Bridge does is give us access to our class files. So if you have a PC, oh, that must be David. I'll have to catch him. Thank you for opening the door, Jane. You're a great bellman or bellwoman, bell person. I don't know. What do we call those people now? This is a way to look into your computer to find the files on your computer. Go ahead and start signing in.
It's going to take a while for them to get the.
Oh, it takes
pipeline,
like,
because the
okay, so
business
just watch for a bit.
And she said, talk to you about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way this works is, this is the parts of the computer. So kind of file management, what I was saying. And all the files we downloaded ended up in the downloads folder of your computers, no matter if you're PC or you're a Mac or whatever you are. So here on the left side, we need to find the word downloads, which I do not see. Do you see it? Some people might have it. I don't have it. If you have it, then click on downloads. I don't have it, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to go and find it. What? Yeah. Oh, on the front of it. Okay, then I'm okay. On my other computer, on this computer, I don't have it. So I'm.
It's a blue folder.
Here we go. So if you see the blue folder, which is there, I'm working on this computer. I have two computers here. I'm working on the one I'm sharing and I was setting this one up too, and that's why I've been. So then this downloads, what we're gonna do is we want it here, because in the future, when we wanna find it, we want it here. So watch what we're gonna do. Grab it and drag it there. Now you have downloads right there. You've created a favorite of it. Okay, so just grab it and put it over there with a drag. If you didn't have it here on the side, okay? If you're a PC user, then over here, it will say my PC instead of the word computer. And then you should find your downloads and you should drag it over. So
I don't have downloads in the favorites.
no, you're on Google. You already are in the files and you already did your shortcut. You're a step ahead.
Okay.
So just wait. Everyone's about to get to where you are. Jean, how are you doing? Did Bridge install yet?
Yes, yes.
So and you're on a Mac, so you should do this process, which is go to your name, DE Musakio, or in my case, name, downloads, and drag it over here. Okay, now let's click here on downloads. On the left side, we're going to click on downloads. And if you are on a school computer, you will have, of course, nothing because you haven't downloaded anything. You will have only what we need. But if you're at home and you have a lot of stuff, you have to sift through it until you find the blue folder called Spring 2024 Photoshop Files. Don't open it. Watch what I'm going to do. Drag it here. Okay, so when you find it, you should have it way up there. Just drag it here. Yeah, so the blue one. The other one is the zipped version that we downloaded. If you have a zipped version, it's now twice in your computer. So you might as well delete the zipped version now because you don't need it twice. Now, if you've done that, click on this and yay, here are our class files. And now grab this guy and drag it over there.
Okay.
Like that. Perfect. Now click on it and here are the class files. Okay? So go into your downloads. Okay, and now drag that guy down under your downloads. Perfect, 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 not you. Go to your name. Thomas, and go to your downloads. Oh, you think you have it, so then just click on this. You did it, so just click that, you did it. All right, everyone here has class files. I know you're not connected yet. How about on at home? At this point,
Yeah.
Anne, we're in the same place as you. So anyone at home who has the class files, basically Anne, Jean, and Laura, let me know because Barbara has them already. And Jinsu, you should have them from last class. Do you have them, Jinsu? Answer me on the chat. Jinsu's sound, she usually writes to me on the chat. Do you have the links? Well, you're gonna have to, I can't catch up online right now, but you have you know how to get to the recordings of Friday, so you can get there that way. It's on the Google Drive. I know that you were there last week too, so just watch the recording to be able to download the files. Okay. All right. We're all in the same place. Every single person is on Bridge and with staring at the class file. So now let me talk about 1227. Adobe. Welcome to Adobe. If you think you're frustrated, you have no idea. Share the pain. Okay, now, this is good. This is good. Now we're like set. If you sit on your same computer, David, you didn't do that yet. There's a sheet on the back with a sign-in sheet. Sign in and then write the number of your computer, which is 11. Okay, 11. And we're gonna just do this. And no one's gonna have the Zoom, the whole setup I wanted. There's more people than I thought in person, which is great. But so we're just gonna do it this way. All right, so what's Bridge? What you're looking at is little tiny icons of files that are in a folder that we're gonna use for class. Now, these full files just happen to be in a place in your computer, the downloads folder. You could have moved them to your documents folder, to your pictures folder, whatever. And in Bridge, you would just go like we did here and click on them and there would be those photos in Bridge. So it's not about putting the photos in any one particular place. It's you and Bridge going to find those files. So This is only gonna be different for people who, is anyone here a Lightroom user?
Yes.
Okay, so Lightroom or even the
Yes.
Photoshop for the Mac or Google for the Mac, you have to have all the photos in one place. They all have to live in a very special place and you can't move them. Because if you move them, your whole catalog will, so only Lightroom people know what I'm talking about. If you don't ask, because yeah, it's a mess. I know. I have alarms that didn't know that I was starting the class on Monday. Oh, thank you. Two glasses on, yes.
Something on the floor, but.
Oh, the eraser. No, I'm not discombobulated. Oh, I haven't done it here on this one yet, 2024. Sorry, you guys haven't, I haven't shared from this computer yet, so you guys don't know, but I need to keep track of the same thing on both. Okay, so here's the thing. I have those of you who were Lightroom users know that there's this very good and bad, very complicated issue with where to put your files for Lightroom not to get messed up and it's a disaster. You move a file and suddenly the whole catalog is a disaster. None of that applies if you've never used Lightroom, and that's one good reason why to not use Lightroom, if ever. There's many reasons why it's good, many reasons why it's bad. Bridge is the organizer of files for Adobe, not just for photos, but for any creative graphic type of files. So not only photos, but also if you're doing illustrations, videos, sound, graphics, art, all of the files that all the Adobe applications handle, Bridge can read them and you can organize them, you can move things around, you can categorize them, give them ratings, work on the metadata, which is the reason people who want to organize them at that level, these are all photos of animals, and then you click on animals and all your animal photos pop up, that kind of thing. You can do all that with Bridge. We're not going to get into the organizing and cataloging and metadata, that part of Bridge. We're just using it as a glorified finder, if you want, to just go find our photos. Because first of all, to teach you about Bridge, and second of all, because it's the same for Mac, PC, VDI. Now, it took us a while to get here, but everyone is on exactly the same page. And I don't have to be dealing with 85 systems. Just took us a while, but we're here. And everyone is on Bridge with the class files. There's two other good things we're going to do with Bridge, two very important things. One, we're going to look at the metadata of our files. And yet, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't worry, we'll get there. But the quick answer to that is when you take a picture, click, or someone takes a picture, click. Not only does the image get recorded into the camera, but other information like where was it taken? What was it? What camera took it? What shape, what size, what file, that kind of information, which is completely separate from the actual image that we're going to see. That's what we can read in Bridge. So for example, if I click on this file on the right side, some of you might have this under publish, click on preview. But on the right side here, a whole bunch of stuff pops up, right? There, and that's the metadata. So everyone click on one photo, any photo, I don't care which, click on a photo, single click, don't double click, just touch, click on one of these photos. And on the right side, all this metadata is popping up, which might or not make sense to you yet. There's people of many different levels in this class. I've had so many technical issues, I haven't had yet a chance to like survey the class for where they are or not. I'm gonna move forward from that right now. But we're gonna be using this quite a bit because if a photo is too small, technically, like there's not enough pixels, and I'm gonna send you an email after this class with a handout that I want you to read, and it talks all about pixels. Then it might not be good for me to print it into a gallery print. It might be useful for a little print on the web for my my Facebook or for my website, but it won't be good enough for a print. And we would never know that unless we understand that metadata. And in this case, it's the information of how many pixels we have. And so in this case, if you look at all this metadata, there's the word, then right here it says 1712 by 2160 for this image. That's how many pixels per side. So width and height that this image has. Now I'm going to go and click on this one, and it's 611 by 591. Now I'm going to click on this one, and it's 960. Okay. So that number, that pixels number, is going to be very important to us. So this is all here, but there's a lot here. This is like a little summary. That number is important to us. What might be important to us right now is that number, and a little bit these numbers here that say 120 PPI, 135 KB. As we go through the class, each one will claim its own importance, and you'll understand why they're important.
Diana,
Yes.
Diana, I'm seeing the people rather than the metadata. Can I
Yeah. So you're
hit
You're
them?
here maybe or something. You
Yeah,
can-
I've got the class pictures on top of that, so I want to close the class pictures. I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
sure.
So, and in the class photos, there's a line on the top right that it kind of goes flat
Like a
line,
mic-
big line, and if you go the flat line, it kind of collapses everything.
So the minus sign in the left corner.
Yeah, and that'll collapse it to just one,
Okay.
hopefully me, and then you can see your photo. Zoom
you.
claims part of the screen, and so that's what she's talking about. Okay, good. So here's your here's other metadata that we're going to need to use, and I'm going to keep bringing you back to this, and soon it'll be like, oh, I understand. Soon, over the next few weeks, it'll make sense to you.
Is it a double click or a right click?
Right now, it's a single click. Now, if you're not seeing anything here, you might be under publish. So then click on the word preview.
It's not showing any of that stuff. that you got
Okay,
there.
let me check it out. Oh, you're not in the files yet, so click on the files. There you go. And now when you click on one of these, that's what I'm showing you metadata. Okay? So when you click on this, there's a single click. So go ahead and single click around the place. Okay, so if you were able to single click around the place and see what I'm seeing, check out the metadata. If it's all working for you, if it's not working for you, raise your hand, let's say. It's all good, you've all seen it? Okay, now, these are tiny little images. It's kind of hard to see what we have in here. And this is a little bit better. It's a preview, right? It's just a little bit of a preview, but it doesn't really let me know if this is in focus or if this guy's eyes are open or not. So we can make these images a bit bigger in two ways. First, I can just go down to this little, see plus and minus here, and just make them a little bit bigger here. They won't get much bigger, but I can click on the plus a couple times, or I can slide the slider to make them bigger. So that might be a good idea, to make them a bit bigger so that we can kind of see these photos. And so down here, there's a slider, which you can either go plus, or you can drag it and slide it around until you get these to be a bit bigger. Now, if you were to go to the farthest right, that's as big as it gets, but then it's kind of not useful here. I'll show you a better way, because then you can't see the rest of your photos. And in this case, we really want to see all of the files. So just get it big enough to kind of see it kind of good enough that you can read the file names and things like that. And one thing I was forgetting that I've done for years, but I haven't taught Photoshop in here either, is that there's uneven numbers. I like to use the system of no one touch anyone else's mouse, first of all, but I want a buddy system where we help each other out, not to do things, but to point things out. So whenever at home, I'm asking people if it worked, give me a yes. So I'm checking in on them because there's no one to check on them. But you guys, I want to make sure that you keep your buddy up. Your buddy would be your next door neighbor. So like in this case, it would be Manuel and Tom, Jonathan and Jane, Errol, and let's say Mark. It's a bit hard because David isn't up yet, but maybe you two and maybe you guys with him for now until we have him set up, okay?
We're already.
Yeah, and I noticed you're already doing it, but here's the thing. Like for now, I see you didn't, like right now I see, Mark, that you didn't zoom into your pictures yet. And so here's what you're gonna do. It's like an airplane. You'll take care of your own things first. When you're done and you got what I got, then you look at your neighbor. Just look, never do for them, and see if they're maybe lost looking for it. Then you can, not touching the screen like me, you, you can just point, oh, that's where she was showing it, right? If they're completely in a different place, you raise your hand and call me, because the person who's lost is being lost and puzzled and confused. They're not knowing to ask for help. But you go, yeah, it looks like we need some help over here. You're telling on them, but it's to make the class go faster, okay? It's a nice kind of telling on, because you can see that it's out of your depth, you can't help. What I don't want is a confabulation of students trying to figure it out, because then everyone gets confused and it's noisy and it becomes hard, versus someone is not where they, like me pointing the screen isn't going to help them. We need Deanna, we need the big guns here. Raise your hand and I'll walk over. And that goes for you guys at home too. The moment something doesn't look the same or work the same, what you do is you raise your hands, although if you need it to be happening right now, you can speak to me and say, Deanna, can you help me, or whatever you need to say. Raising your virtual hand and leaving it up would be the same as suddenly John has a question that he knows has nothing to do with what I'm speaking right now. In person, he might just wait until there's a break, then he'll raise his hand. But online, you guys just click on the raised hand, you'll go pop up to the left, and then when I make a natural break, I'll say, okay, so Jean, what's your question? Does that make sense? But if it's like, I don't see the tool that you're sharing, ask me immediately so that we can all continue. So some people don't want to look at other people's computers. You guys have been in such a mess that you've kind of warmed up right now. But sometimes there's like, who's this person sitting next to me? So I want you all to turn to your neighbors, and just the neighbors you're going to talk with at least, and introduce yourselves and say, she's telling me I have to look at your screen. Is that okay? Give each other permission to tell on each other. Right?
I don't.
So Tom and Manuel, just make sure that you're okay, because Tom, I'm going to say, check out on Manuel. Manuel, I'm going to say, check on Tom. So you're going to have to go over with your computer, like with your screen, to check on him. And it'll be okay with you, Tom, because I said that I'm telling him to do it. You guys get it? It'll be intrusive sometimes. And I'm like, everyone check on each other. See if you're ready to move on. So in this case, yeah, there's an extra chair. Maybe you can move the other chair out of the way. Okay, because that's the fastest way. And you guys at home, you give me the yes, and we're like, boom, class moves on to the next thing. Okay. All right. So now that we're with this checkup, hopefully everyone has found the Zoom. Jonathan, you're way too zoomed in because you're seeing one image. So zoom down again until you see all the images biggish, but not too big, which is why I want you guys here. If you're wondering about sitting over there, because I can take a peek and see from here that you guys need a little bit of help. So then I went way too far down. So now go up again. There you go. That sounds about good. All right. Now, what if I did want to see if this guy's eyes are open or closed? Because I want to know if I bother editing this image. Maybe I have 10 of this guy and I'll want to see the best one before I open it in Photoshop. So instead of zooming in and out here, you can select it. So select this guy down here, meaning one click is select. A blue line goes around it. Everyone select that one guy at the very end. And then go to your space bar. Hit the space bar and he gets big. The space bar. Oh. And you go, oh yeah, there he is, got a good smile. He's smiling, he's fine, it's good, it's focused. And then you know that you can open it. Space bar again, it goes down. That's just a preview. It's not Photoshop, it's nothing. It's just making me see it bigger. Okay. Now I'm going to go to this image, and when I do the space bar,
It is.
when I do the space bar on this one, I up and down, okay? Another way I can do this is click to see it up, and then I use my arrows on my keyboard, if you like arrows, and I start going right, and I get to see them all, or left, or up, or down. Like your arrows on your keyboard are helping you navigate up and down those photos. Now, for different photos, this is not so useful, but a lot of the times, and we have a professional photographer here in class, Tom, and I don't know anyone else's settings here or needs, I haven't really checked in on you. I do know him from before, but some of you might be that too. Many times you take 10 photos in the moment, 20 photos, 100 photos, who knows? And you just want to see which, you know, if it's a group portrait, oh my God, please never take one group portrait, always take at least three. Because there's somebody who's gonna be squinting or smiling or whatever. And then you do like this and you choose which is the best one. Also, you can then fix it in Photoshop and grab the head from another to put the, you know, to make the right perfect picture. But at this point, that's the idea. You're checking out which photo you're gonna open. We only have one of each. Doesn't really apply here, but it applies to seeing in big anything that we want to do and see, this is gonna work. No, maybe this one is gonna work. No, maybe that one is gonna work or whatever, until we are ready to open it. So if this worked for you and you're able to see it big and small, if it didn't, let me know. Since some things I know to stop and check in with everyone. This one was just up and down with the space bar. Now, if I want to open this file, which I do, Adobe made this program called Bridge. And so when you click on any of these photos, the computer already knows what application to open these photos in. Now, we only have graphics photos here. So at this point, there's no like videos or illustrations or, you know, Illustrator files or InDesign files here, which I do teach all those classes. They all start later in the semester. So in those classes, I can show how Adobe knows. And if you click on an Illustrator file and you open it, Illustrator opens up. If you click on a photograph, Photoshop opens up. And you click, you know, InDesign opens up. Adobe knows what to open up. Adobe knows that all of these should be opened in Photoshop. That's why there are class files, but they are different types of files. I have PSD right there. And I'm going to make this bigger only for you guys to be able to read. Oh no, I can't. The names still stay small. They don't get bigger. The names, do they? No, the names don't stay small, so it's not worth it. Yeah, so I'm just going to go back here. So the top one says PSD, Photoshop document. That's an image that's already been opened and worked in Photoshop and has layers. We'll know what that means soon. This is a .jpeg. JPEG is 99% of the times the photo that comes out of your camera once you click, right? That's it. Your camera delivers you a photo in JPEG format. There are some alternatives. An iPhone will also offer you an HEIC, and cameras who have the possibility to give you RAW files will give you other extensions. But 99% of you guys, when you click, a JPEG is what you get out of the camera. Now, this is what I'm calling input files. Like the camera takes this picture and you input it. So it's kind of original, let's say. I can't use RAW anymore because now RAW means something else, but it's original. It's untouched, right? That's the input file. PSD is an working in progress file. You're working on it. You're doing stuff to it. It's layered. And then you could output that file again in different ways. And once it's fixed, you can then done, changed, lightened, darkened, collaged, composited, whatever you're going to do in Photoshop. The output file could again be a JPEG if it's going to the web. Could be a PDF, could be a TIFF, it could be other stuff, right, when we're done. But right now, what we're seeing here is files that technically haven't been worked on. Not necessarily, but technically, so that's the idea. Let's assume that JPEGs just came out of the camera. PSDs means they're already in work in Photoshop. And then if you look at all these files, you'll see that there's a couple of PNGs, right? A PNG is another form of final file, like the JPEG, like an output file. The camera will never create a PNG. You will create it in Photoshop, or someone will have created it for you. And then the rest, most of the rest are JPEGs or PSDs. And then we go down here, and I'm looking at the extensions. That's what I'm reading. And this one says .dng, .cr2, .arw. These files that are all next to them, I just put the name RAW in them just so that they clump up together. These are called RAW files. Only cameras that have the capability of shooting RAW, and you need to know if your camera can do that, which at this point in time, most people can, even iPhones can. In the past, it was only exclusive, really fancy photography camera. Now, just about anything can do a RAW file. They are way bigger, so be careful, don't just shoot RAW willy-nilly. But when you shoot a RAW file, it gives you more control over how well you can adapt it or manipulate it. So if you're in a space that you're not going to be, again, Tom was telling me about this really interesting experiment they're going to go do in Alaska, releasing methane fuels to photograph it on fire, environment, fun stuff. He's always up to some of those. You're not going to do that plenty of times, so you better shoot raw, right? Or if it's you know, something that can't be repeated. The moment in the wedding when they're, I know, sorry, I'm gonna take these alarms off. They're leftovers from up until last week. There's usually a meeting I have at 1 p.m. that it's telling me, go to it, and I have to take that alarm off because I'm not going to it. It's not happening, not this time.
You can clone yourself.
What?
You can clone yourself.
Yeah. So, but that's me reminding myself, get ready for one. It's 10 to 1. And I am busy in my stuff, and if I don't alarm myself progressively, I don't then be there on time. So that's what you're experiencing. Okay. So even if I silence it, it's not called because alarms go through the silencing because that's their point. So I'll just turn them off for next week. I'm sorry. Okay. So raw files are going to be files that we will take a bit more exceptionally. Only if your camera can. Delve into your cameras and find out if you can, if you find a way of how your camera can do it. And if you can, then the big difference, if you take in the moment a JPEG and the same moment a raw file, which professional cameras can do, normal cameras, phones can do one or the other. The moment you shoot the same photo in those two formats, the JPEG will have the camera will process it, pre-process it. It will make it a bit sharper, a bit warmer, a bit more correct. It'll give you a post-processed image. It's not the raw image. It's already been processed by the camera, not by you. And in that process, it's lost a little bit of the latitude and what it can do with those pixels and the highlights and the shadows and stuff like that. It's still a totally workable file. It's not like a JPEG, you can't work on it. But if at that same moment you have a camera, you can compare a raw of that moment, you'll have more flexibility in the darks, in the lights, all those clouds that went blank, you might be able to bring them back and see them instead of having white sky. The dark stuff under the bridge, oh, there's actually rocks. So you have more possibility of bringing stuff out. So if you're in a once in a lifetime place, please, if you have a choice, switch to raw. But don't then keep willy-nilly shooting raw everything of your trip, or your camera will fill up in a second because these files are huge in comparison to JPEG. So that's just the good news and the bad news. Now, we're going to process RAWs in Photoshop and in a program called Camera Raw that we access from Bridge before we get into Photoshop. So I'm going to show you all that, how we're going to do that. But guess what? You can also process a JPEG in that tool, set of tools too. So we're going to show you how to do that because sometimes you can't shoot raw. So if you have JPEGs from the past, you want to fix the photo, your family photo, you only have JPEGs at this point or TIFFs or something like that, you can still process them with Photoshop and with the raw tools. So that's as much as all of this Bridge has told us. And we haven't even opened Photoshop, but this is purposeful this time. This is not a technical reason, because Bridge is going to be the source for a lot of the information of what we're going to do. So now let's go ahead and open a file. So we're going to go to this one called straighten.jpg, the little margaritas things right there. So go find it, go click on this one. We're going to click on this file now, and we can open it. For those of you who are good with double clicking, double click on it. For those who like to right click open, because sometimes double clicking is hard on fingers. When I double click on it, it goes, oh, this is a Photoshop. This is a file I should open in Photoshop, and see how Photoshop begins to open up. I didn't have Photoshop open yet, which is why it's triggering Photoshop to open. Had you opened a JPEG outside of Bridge, the computer knows that JPEGs can be used everywhere. So it would have opened something like a preview or a Windows viewer, or it doesn't know what to open. But in Bridge, a JPEG is like, oh, you need Photoshop. So it opens Photoshop directly. You don't have to guess and tell it what to open. So my Photoshop is still bouncing up and down, and since I'm sharing my screen, I'm gonna stop my share because these things happen better when I'm not sharing, when the computer has to process stuff. Let me say one more thing. When you guys are at home, please don't have anything at Lopus open on your computer. If you have any other application open, make sure to close everything else. Photoshop 2024 is a hog. It really uses up your resources in a way that you can't even believe. And macOS 13 is recommended. Photoshop, an earlier version of macOS was detected. Oh, God, say okay to that, because this is why they promised me they'd have new computers. We are taxing these computers to the max with Adobe Photoshop 2024. I suspect there's a few things we might not be able to do because these computers are 2015s and Photoshop 2024 needs newer computers. So if we get stopped at any point, then, you know, I'll figure it out. As I said, some of you might have not heard, but I was promised new computers. They're going to come next. They're going to put them in the summer, but not now. Okay. So if you have this thing, it's trying to teach you something, just go ahead and say, try later, right? Because it's trying to teach you something that we're not going to use right now. And then Photoshop opened up, and in my case, it's kind of floating around on top of Bridge and everything. And so it's kind of confusing. So for you Mac users, go over here to these three dots, and on the green one, so this Photoshop, like right above where it says straighten, click on green. So it makes itself bigger. So it fills my screen. And now if I want to grow, but now it's completely Photoshop. And now if I want to go between Bridge and Photoshop, I just go down here into this dock and I go Bridge, Photoshop, Bridge, Photoshop, right?
How did you make it bigger again?
So over here we had three little dots on the top right, and the green one fills your screen. Same with a VDI on the PCs and VDIs, it's on the right side. You can fill your screen on the right side. The only difference with Mac and PCs is that Mac has things on the left, PC has it on the right. If PC has it on the left, Mac has it on the right. You know, they're kind of go back and forth differently, but other than that, they're fine. All right, let me share my screen again because now my stuff is opened up. I need to ask people at home that if I'm ever beginning to share something and you're not seeing Photoshop, like I'm not sharing my screen, that if I stopped it for any reason, to remind me that you're not seeing it. So I was just sharing how to go back and forth, but I wasn't sharing yet. And this is what I had said. You had a Windows that was smaller, and I said, go here to the little plus sign and fill the screen. And I was going down to the dock and having everyone see how you switch between one and the other, one and the other. And if you're on a PC, it looks black, but it's still down here, and you go between one and the other. And it helps you have to avoid moving things around. Okay, so now we're in Photoshop. Is everyone in Photoshop? Check your buddies. Is everyone in Photoshop? Nope, I don't see you in Photoshop. So double click on the screen and open up. And in your case, maybe you guys can keep a long eye because David isn't doing it, and we're at the point where I'll check on him.
I'm
still.
following you on screen
Yeah.
up there.
So, everyone here has it. Hold on, you're there. You're there. I'll show you how to make it bigger. You're there. Okay. At home, is there a yes? Everyone has this file opened up? Give me a yes. Because since quite a few of you guys also have,
Yes.
I'm not seeing your screen. Okay. I have been the whole technical thing has taken, so this is my morning coffee. I haven't started yet. I'm starting on it now because I'm in Photoshop. Okay. Yeah. Crazy. Okay. Thank you. All right, so we're in Photoshop. Now, some of you guys are seeing it smaller and bigger than me. Immediately here, everyone on their screens is it smaller and bigger. I don't know what you have at home if you're seeing smaller and bigger. And that's precisely why what we're going to do is begin to figure out how to navigate Photoshop. We're not going to do much to this image in general yet. We're going to learn to navigate around Photoshop. Oh, so let's say try later to this little window. And there we go. Perfect. Now, the first thing we need to look at is where our mouse is. can I ask you a favor? When you help your neighbors, David, stop yourself at pointing. Once you start talking, they can't hear me, you can't hear me, and everyone gets so. You already know what to do,
The boss.
but I'm about to show it
Plus
to
and
everyone.
minus.
Yeah.
He's ahead of
So next time, David, you help them, just kind of point to stuff, keep it
Yeah.
really
it.
down, just to help, in general, this is a simple thing, but whenever at the beginning, the simple things trigger me reminding you, because later it'll be big, they'll try to explain this long thing. Like, "Nah, don't explain, call me over." All right, so here's the thing, on the left side, I need a show of hands. Who has used Photoshop before? Raise your hands. Okay, so keep him up for a second. So quite a few people have some. Jonathan, you've used it before. Mark a little bit. So not at all, John, not at all, Manuel, not at all, David. How about over there? Anne, have you used Photoshop before?
No.
Okay, all right. Those of you who haven't raised your hands, who have raised your hands, for the most part, I know, but I like what level they're at. But Jane, a little experience, a lot of experience. What were you at?
Just a little experience.
No, there's a Jean and a Jane, sorry.
Oh,
So
sorry.
no, that's fine. Jean, a little experience, that's good. Laura? No, you raised your hand, so do you have, what kind of level?
Sorry, trying to unmute. I use it a little for like, I use Lightroom and I use it for like head swaps, basic stuff.
Or what swaps?
Oh, like cutting and pasting
And
things
paste.
together. Yeah.
You use Lightroom for that?
No. I primarily use
Oh, Photoshop.
Lightroom.
Okay, if ever gonna say no, Lightroom is not for that. Got it. For Photoshop,
Yeah.
for cutting and pasting, perfect. Simple
Yeah.
collage. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And now, not Jean, but now Anne, you said no, right? Not use it. And then Jean? No, don't Jean.
Wow,
Not
Jane.
Jean. Jane?
I haven't used it in several years, but I did have a little.
Over here, I can tell who is comfortable with computers immediately, which means it might make you learn the program faster, even though you might not have used the application versus some people who have used it before, maybe are slower with their command of the computer. So there's all kind of levels here, all right? And we're just gonna be nice and patient with everyone. The only other one I don't know was you raised your hand, Errol. So what was your knowledge of Photoshop and how?
I use it on a lot of artwork I did, drawings.
Okay.
And right now I'm in colorization of old photographs, which is really a blast.
Isn't it wonderful?
Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
the generative,
I love it.
the neural filters.
Oh,
Great.
oh, yeah.
So do you scan in your stuff or do you photograph your stuff?
I scan it
Mhm.
but these cameras or these phone cameras are so good.
Yeah. So that's
That
what
they
you're doing.
are nearly as good as scanning.
I know,
So sometimes I
amazing.
use that.
And in fact, what happens with the photos is that you get the depth of pieces if you work in multimedia or something versus in a scanner, it kind of flattens out. So in a way,
Mhm.
sometimes if you have a good lighting and good steady hand and whatever, in a good location, right on top, it might even be better to photograph things now more than scanning,
Oh, yeah.
depending on your needs. Anyway, any other artists? I hear a lot of times people who are artists who use Photoshop for that. Anyone else online who has that kind of experience? No? Okay. So just so you know, I'm surprised because the way the roster is, people who signed up, there were less in person and more online. And what I'm finding is that all the in-persons showed up and my online people are not here. So I'm gonna work them today with email saying what's happening. But it might be that it's in person. You guys might be the online group, which is great, but it's the opposite of what I was expecting. You never know. All right, so here on the left side, we have the basic set of tools. Now, the very top one, so if sometimes when you open up, you're in a different tool, just the very top left, let me put a little bit of color on my mouse again. There we go. Where's the light? Hello. I don't like it when the Zoom spotlight doesn't work. It's not giving me color. Zoom changed how they do the spotlight and it's, well, I'll have an arrow, but not, there we go, color. It's not giving me color to my, there it is. Okay. So then you can see my mouse better. So over here at the top, and for those of you who are viewing from here, that is my, if you want, home tool, my move tool, the tool that I'm gonna live in 99% of the times. It's called move. And yet, if you were to try to move this right now, it's not gonna do anything. In fact, I'm gonna put my mouse over this image and I'm gonna try to click and drag to move something and not happening. In fact, I get a message that I cannot move it because this layer is locked. And the message is the same for the PC, except for that it's on the PC, it looks kind of square. On the Macs are always a bit sleeker, but it's the same message. So it's telling me convert to normal or cancel. Right now, let's just cancel. And if you didn't do that and you didn't experience that, just try to click on this little guy and drag as if you want to move it. And you'll see that it'll come up with, can't do that. So if so, cancel. And what it's talking about is a very important feature of Photoshop. The reason Photoshop exists and is so wonderful is down way over here. It's our layers. Now, notice that this layer here has, there's one thing only, so there's not many layers to this layer, but it has a little lock. Had I clicked on that convert to layer, it would have unlocked it, but I want to show you where to unlock it because it's so simple. Just click, and this says background layer is the name that it always will have at the beginning. This is a flat file. Let's say it's what you would get out of a camera, even though this has some work on it already. I'm going to just click on that lock. And that's as easy as that to unlock it. And notice it's not called background anymore. It's called layer 0 because although there is only one, it is now a layered file. This simple thing we have done means that if I try to save this file, I cannot save it as a JPEG again because this is now a layered file. Now, what does layering do right now? Not much other than that if I move that same mouse back and try to click and drag, I'll discover that I've kind of like disconnected it from the edges. And now that's an actual loose file. So everyone do that. Make sure you've unlocked and then put your mouse here and start dragging around. And what we are seeing here is that the way Photoshop shows you the image, it's as if you were looking through a hole. And the image slides in and out, or imagine a frame. If you were putting a frame in something that's too big, you would see around the frame, but the rest is masked out. So this is masking anything. The other part of this is not being seen. So we call that being masked. So you're kind of moving this around in the background, but you're not seeing where it goes. All you see is here. So what's left behind is transparency. And that's how Photoshop shows us. Perfect. So now you need to be on your move tool, which is that one up there, the top tool. And did it move for you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Yeah, click on that one. Yeah. And now put your mouse over the margarita thing and drag it around. Okay. Now you need to double click to open this in Photoshop. Oh, you're in Photoshop. Go to Photoshop. You're in Bridge.
Sorry?
Yes.
They do, don't they?
Just for a second, bring it back. And
Oh, man, you're making me sick.
And
Or this lunch stop, fast lunch.
now you can click on the margarita and move it around. Or drinks, on the drinks and move them. Okay, so I keep saying margarita. I don't think I've ever looked. I'm one of those few people that not because of a problem, but because I just, like a kid, never liked the taste of alcohol. So I don't know the names of these things. So I don't really drink alcohol. So it's a thing. Maybe it's an orange juice, grenadine, who knows? Anyway. My husband despairs. Okay. So we are moving this around. So this stuff is transparency. Okay, guys at home, Anne, Jean, and Laura, I only check on you three because I know Barbara and I know she knows this. So I'm checking on you three right now. Were you able to give me a yes if you were successful with moving your stuff around?
Yes.
Yes.
there are settings that might be different and different people. Now, this is transparency. Now, Jean and Anne and Laura, I know it's hard to be turning your green check yes and now and then, but when you say yes, like if one of you was a guy, I'd know. But there's 3 similar women sounds, and until I get to know you, later I will recognize who said yes, but I still don't recognize who said yes. So if you can turn your check mark and say yes too, that way I'll get accustomed to your names, to your sounds, that's good. But for now, I can't tell who's answering. Okay. So this is always how we're going to show transparency. That one might be a warning that class should move into. That's the real one. That's my actual real, for me to look at the watch. We still have half an hour, but that's my ding, half an hour to go. I need that, you guys, my brain, otherwise I'm in something else. Okay, so here we go. Notice that if I try to put it back into the right place, you see these like pink lines that appear? It's like, these are called smart guides. And when I put it like down there, it tells me, yeah, you've got it in this direction, but not yet. And so when I move it a little bit more over there and I pass it over, then it goes, you've got it in that direction, but no. And then when I finally put it in the right place, it kind of snaps. There's this feature called snap. It's a feature. And it kind of goes, boom, and it snaps back into place. And it shows me those pink smart guides. That means it's back to where it should go. Okay, so those smart guides appear to help you place things. So go ahead and everyone snap it back into its original position and feel at the very end that little snap where it kind of, if you try to place it right there, it goes back on its own. All right.
Keyboard shortcut that would.
Yes, there is. So I'm going to talk about those shortcuts right now. There's some keyboard shortcuts. And for those of you who know Photoshop from the past and here and there, one thing I'm hoping you will learn here is how to use shortcuts. For some people, it's like, oh, one more thing to learn. But guess what? It's easier. There's a few key ones. I won't let you learn a ton. But many times it's easier to use a shortcut on your keyboard than to try to do it with your mouse. It's faster. So ideally, one hand on the mouse, one hand on your keyboard is how we would use Photoshop. Now, when I first opened it up, everyone here has a smaller image then. So what's happening is there's a whole bunch of other stuff I'm not necessarily going to explain right now, but the main thing that's happening right now is that we have to change your resolution for your monitors is that most people look at the Mac at home. My screen is set at a resolution that's much wider, bigger because of the projector. So if we look down here, this says 100%, and for you, it probably already says 100%, right? If you haven't changed it yet, Jonathan, probably not. But people who haven't changed it says 100%. And what I'm pointing to is down here. 100% is how that photo opens up, where according to whatever resolution your screen has, which sometimes might be bigger or smaller resolution, and that's a setting that you can change. It's showing you this image at the best way it can show a pixel ratio per pixel on your screen that shows so that it looks its absolute best. It's the golden number. You want to have 100% here before you decide if an image is good or bad to be seen. But 100% on your screen can look small, and on my screen can look big. And it's just because of how my monitor resolution is set up. So never gauge yourself by how big or small the picture looks on your screen. Always look at this and see if this says 100%. Now, 100% in this image gives me a whole image. Other image, 100%, will give me very little stuff. So let's move things up and down from 100%, and then we'll see what I'm talking about. So we're not going to use our mouse to change this bigger and smaller. We're going to go to our shortcuts. If you are a Mac user, hold down on the command key. There's one on each side of the space bar. And if you are a PC user, hold down the control key. So if at home you have a PC, use your control key. And here everyone has Macs, hold down your command key. And now with your other hand, liberate your other hand to start with from your mouse and go look for the plus sign. Usually up at the top, there's a row of numbers. And then the very last one before the delete key is a plus and an equals sign. So I'm gonna tap the plus sign. Now, remember, your command key gets held down, doesn't move, it stays down. But the plus gets clicked on, and plus, 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 each time I click on it, I get bigger and bigger and bigger. And suddenly I'm seeing pixels. This is what I was talking about originally. It's like the cells of a human body. These are the pixels. Now, if I don't even know what I'm seeing anymore because it's too big, then I can tap the minus, 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 minus. Now watch again. One hand on the command key, guys, and keep it held down. Other hand, plus, 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 minus, 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 plus, 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 minus, 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 minus. That's how I zoom in or out. Okay. If you look down here, this number is changing all the time. I'm so small that now it says that I'm at 12%. And then when I go bigger, 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 I'm at like, 1200%. Okay. And if I'm like, okay. Okay, so in this case, yeah, so in this case, just do a tap your Z. And now, with the same command, start tapping the plus or the minus.
I love it.
Yeah. There you go. Is everyone, look at your neighbors, has everyone been able to zoom in and out correctly?
He-Man stuff.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
He-Man
Zoom,
stuff.
zoom, zoom.
Well.
In and out. Okay. Zoom in and out, good. Now, zoom yourself so far in that you, like me, see a bunch of pixels. I can zoom into 12,800.
Oh, God.
And even though I'm in the middle of the image, which shows me this yellow, if I really pay attention, these yellows are subtly different. It's easier if I go down a little bit smaller and notice that all my yellows here are a little bit different from each other in order to show me some detail. Now, what if I want to go and check out, everyone should be zoomed into this big old yellow. What if I want to go check out that first margarita or whatever tropical fruit glass is? How do I scooch over? I just want to stay at, what am I, 800%? I just want to scooch over to the left. I'm not seeing the whole image. Well, hold down the space bar and you get a hand. And then you can click and drag, click and drag, click and drag to move yourself around the image at 800%. You, for some reason, need to inspect the image at 800%. So you hold down your space bar and then with your mouse, okay, hold it down. Yeah, there's a hand. And now with your mouse, you can click and drag, click and drag. So try that. Keep that held down. And then with this hand, click and drag. Everyone, tell me if you are doing with that. Raise your hands if you're having any issue with that. You're doing something different. Try that again. You're moving the whole image around.
Just go right in. Change things. I know.
Okay. Which is the same tool, but just showing. Yeah. Oh, very different. Yeah, great question. What's the difference between holding the hand down, or why not just do this to move it? Can anyone surmise what's happening right now? I'm gonna go down minus and show you that without my command or control key, I am moving the image from its place. I am like getting rid of parts of it, right? That's moving my image. I was trying not to move my image. I was trying to scooch over, kind of scroll over, right? So when I'm up, 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 if I don't see it, because I don't see the edges, but if I move it around like this, maybe you can see here in my little thumbnail, see how there's a little bit of transparency appearing? It's very tiny. Let me make this thumbnail bigger. See what's happening? I'm actually moving my image out of place. I know it's tiny, but maybe I can go to the largest one, right? So you can see that's the difference. I'm gonna have to go all the way down to see my entire image. So how do I do that fast instead of minus, 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 plus, 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 minus, minus? I can just go Command or Control 0. And now I see my entire screen. And then I go, oh, I've been moving my image around, which wasn't my intention. I'll move it back into the middle. Boom. And now let's zoom in again and let's try. Hand, click and drag. Now, if you don't want the shortcut for hand, well, guess what? The hand is right there. So you can click on the hand right there, and then it's called panning. Pan around your image without taking it out of its location. Because if you want the bird to be where it needs to be, and the tree to be where it needs to be, and the two different layers, you don't want to move the bird to see it. You want to move yourself to the bird. Okay? So now, Command or Control 0, everyone, so that we fill our screen, fill our screen, fill our screen. That means now we can see the entire image that we have with. Now, if you see that you have some transparency somewhere, that means that at some point you move the image. Now, put your mouse without your hand, just put your mouse in and snap it back. But go Command and Control 0. Yeah. And now grab your mouse on move. You have your mouse on hand, so grab it back to move. Yeah. And now grab this and snap it back so you don't see any transparency. Good job. How's it going there at home, you guys? With zooming in and out? Now,
I
Good.
question. So
yes,
it's, so Control 0 is supposed to take me back to 100%?
no, it should fill your screen, not
Okay.
100%. Fill your
All right.
screen, which it's a great observation because now look at my numbers here. At fill your screen, I'm at 126%. You guys for fill your screen are 273%. At home, you might be at 142. It's depending on your monitor, which we have no control over. So the image is filling the screen at whatever size your monitor is, and it's showing me that I'm at 126%. Does that make sense, you guys? Now, what if I
Yes.
want to go back to 100%? Because I said that it's not good to see an image other than at 100%. If you want to gauge its clarity, its focus, its image correction. Right now, I'm bigger than 100%. So things can begin to look a little bit pixelated and fuzzy. So the golden rule is 100%. So Command, Control or Command 1. That's the way I get to 100%. So Command and Control 1 for
Oh,
Command and
I didn't know
Control.
that.
So now, Command 0, Command or Control, I say it's the same, it's the C word, Command or Control. Command or Control 0, what does it do?
Fill screen.
Fills the screen.
Fills the screen, great. I love chorus answers because it helps you register things in your brain and in your hand, okay? Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, just give it a try. Command or Control, yes, Jonathan?
So I have some pixels down in the bottom.
Okay, so with your mouse,
Yeah.
go ahead and grab it and drag it, your image now a bit down until you see, keep going down until you see some thick lines. So go down, 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 and a little bit to the right. Yep. And it's a little bit hard when, with the shaky, yep, there you go, you have it centered. Now try to, oh,
See what I'm
you
talking about?
did, I see, okay. So this one, since I'm not ready to do it yet, we're just gonna do it, no, because there's things that. Yeah, so, I'm gonna teach them to do that.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
I heard you say Command and Control 0, or did you mean Command or Control?
Command is for Macs, Control is for PC. But you were the only one who's in a complicated situation here because you're on a Mac, but at home you have a PC. So-
But I'm glad you explained it, because I was pressing Control.
Yeah, because it's the same key, but has a different name. But the Mac also has a control key, but it's a different thing. So just blah, 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 ignore, put a nix on that control key, which is basically a right click from when the mouse didn't have a right, when Macs didn't have a right click. It's the command for the Mac is the control for the PC.
There's one over.
Okay.
here.
All right, so now we've zoomed in and out. At 100%, we can trust that what we're seeing is as good as this image gets. So what do you guys think? Is this image in shape, in focus?
I turned to black and white.
Yes.
You did an invert. So I'm gonna, for now,
It is
you did invert. So command, hold the command and tap the Z. Hold the command
hold command and
and
do
then
what?
tap the Z.
That's
A couple
remove the
times,
last.
keep going until,
Let's move.
yeah. Okay,
Wow.
and it's not, you're not,
Oh,
let me see. Let me go all the way back to here.
Oh,
There's just, for now, I'll teach everyone this next week,
Oh.
Next Wednesday.
wow, I've never
the
seen that
undo.
before.
Yeah, there's ways to fix your problems, but I can't teach it today. So now and then I'll do something that I'll promise to have you know. Yes, Anne?
So my plus and minus would actually be capital keys on my keyboard, but they seem to work without shift. So just for kind of future general knowledge, that's the way it is.
The shift up and down, if you hold down the shift up and down, that doesn't work. So I'm not sure what you're saying. I know, I hear you. Thank you.
Well, you know, like the 8 and the asterisk are on
Yeah, that
the same key.
Hold
The
on,
eight-
it is 125. I so apologize. I don't mean to kick you out, but I've been looking at that clock, which says it's I was thinking 135. It is 120. I'm
125.
thinking 135 is when the class ends. It's 125. No one needs to go. If you need to go, please go. But I've been thinking 135. I'm thinking we have 10 more minutes. So hold in there for a second while I answer that question, and then I'll help you guys complete it. Let me apologize that I'm behind because of everything that happened, and so I was zooming on. But don't worry, now that everyone's on in Photoshop, as long as you're sitting in the same exact spot, please remember where you're sitting or write it down. Then next week, we just open up Photoshop and boom, okay? There's no need for anything. And you were saying that the shift is this, in your case, is helping
Well,
you?
you know, on the keyboard, the asterisk is above the 8. So my minus and plus, normally when typing, I'd have to do a capital, you know, or a shift.
Oh, okay.
But it seemed to work without doing that.
Yeah,
but I
because
just-
it's not about the shift, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just about control and that key, whichever the
Okay.
above or below part of it. So yeah. Thanks for that point. Yeah, it's independent of what that key does in its other life of being a key that does asterisks or things like that. Okay, so
And-
guys, yeah.
Second question is this class just half the semester, or should I have enrolled in 2 parts to get the whole class? You know what I mean?
Long story. Normally, these classes aren't concurrent. It's the first time that my 2 Photoshops are running at the same time. Normally, one runs after and people can sign up to the next one. And then, although technically material is similar, I teach it at a higher level. But this time, for one of those bizarre scheduling things that people do sometimes, not only did they put it at 10 a.m., but they are concurrent. So both my Photoshop classes, I'm teaching very similar things. I'm going to try, because there's a couple students who want to go back and forth. I'll be trying to do different images. So if you want to take both, you'll learn double. But it's not going to be the usual benefit of going plus, so to say. You know what I mean? Because I have some beginners and some. Now, I want anyone who's a more experienced person in Photoshop, hang in there. Please don't think, oh, this is too easy for me. Come back on Wednesday. Everyone, and today I didn't get to teach everything I would show you, but usually by the end of the first day, everyone's like, oh, got it. There's a lot of nuggets here, even for people who don't know much. So please don't get discouraged, because I didn't get to that place where everyone has aha moments, but you will.
So it ends in February.
No, I mean Wednesday. Like, people who
No.
know quite a bit might have thought today was, I'm not gonna say a waste of time, but a lot easy. So it's gonna get way better than this. But I do not have a level 2 Photoshop right now, to Anne's question.
Right, so this class ends on February 21st.
This one ends on 21st, and
Thanks.
and it's twice a week, guys. So come back on Wednesday, because my other one is once a week, so I'm confused. And as I said, for people who want more experience, if you're comfortable being online, the Friday class is only online. Then you can practice again different images, so you'll get more out of it. But we're not going to be like level 2 kind of thing, okay? But people keep taking my classes all the time, because every time they come, there's something new, even people who are high level. And then when I know there's a person who's higher level, I'll do something with them while everyone else is figuring something in between. So truly be patient. Today was a bit of a snafu. The only one who needs to be careful with how they back out right now is Anne, because you're on VDI. you need to save and sign out of your Google Drive. Everyone else, so don't, or the file will be corrupted next week, but everyone else, you can just close this file. And when you try to close the file here from this name, it'll say save changes. And we're like, no, don't save anything because we haven't done anything to it other than play around. And then you can quit Photoshop. And on a Mac, on a PC, you just click on the X over there. But on a Mac, the right way to quit Photoshop is not by turning this little red dot off. Photoshop will stay open. It's by going from Photoshop to quit Photoshop. For shortcut levers, Command Q. And then that quits Photoshop. So everyone quit Photoshop. And then when you click on Bridge, again, the name appears up here. And you click on that and quit Bridge. Now, I don't need you to quit immediately if you have some base questions right now. But I want to bring you back to this handout, which, guys, hold on, don't quit yet. Look at my screen, everyone. Because I never got around to these two links. Forget the Padlet, I'll explain that next week. But this is a survey, a class survey. So I will send you this link. Could you please click on this survey? It's a few minutes. It's like experience level, what are you interested in learning in the class, that kind of thing. Because I need to know who's here, what's here, to know how to speak to that level. If you have a project going on, I'll go, oh, and for your book, or oh, and for your art piece, and oh, and for your, I really need to know what you're up to, and this helps me help you, kind of thing. On the other hand, you can also, when I come into class next week, you can also tell me, oh yeah, I've been organizing photos for, you know, a class or whatever it is that you're doing, tell me and I'll help you know, but please click on that link and fill that out. And as of tomorrow, instead of saying sample, this will be a link to our video of our first class, okay? So those of you who need to leave, sorry I kept you 5 extra minutes. I swear I thought I was 35. I'll see you on Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'm gonna have to get a custom. If you ever hear me say at 9 a.m., it's just out of old habit. The class is 10, not 9. I didn't change anything, but my brain will always say 9 because every class I've ever had starts at 9. At 10 a.m. for those here in person, and for everyone online, next week, next Wednesday. I always say next week for next class also, because my classes sometimes are once a week. So just the next time we meet. When I say next week, I mean the next time we meet. Please sign in 15 minutes later, like at 10:15. So that I can organize this horde here correctly. One more time, let's do the step thing until everyone is ready to be going by 10, okay? Now, if you have any questions, please stay behind. If you need to go, please go. It's been wonderful seeing you. And now I see Laura has her hand up. So not questions that take me half an hour because I start teaching a class at 2. But, you know, certain things that need to be answered right now, I'm more than happy to answer. So yes, hold on, Laura had her hand up for a while. Laura?
Thanks. My question is just.
Wait, hold on. Everyone, if you're ready to leave, how you turn off your Mac computers is by not turning them off. If you want to, you can go to this Apple and just log out of your name, but please do not shut down. If you log out, that's good. Otherwise, if you forget to log out in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes of not using your computer will log you out. So it's fine. But if you do it, then log yourself out. Don't shut them down in the lab because we have another class starting, okay? For those of you who are gonna go, it's been great meeting you. Put your name tags by the roster on your way out because you'll forget to bring them back and I will always have them.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys. All right, Laura, yeah.
Quick
Ready?
question.
Yes.
Quick question. If I have my own laptop to work on, can I come in person and bring that?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
Does it have Photoshop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, cool.
As long as it have everything you need, then of course, then don't forget to download the class files on it.
Yep.
And so you can-
Okay.
But yeah, and you
Got
can,
it. Okay.
for everyone, if anyone, one more last thing, since that's a good question. Ideally, you would come to class where you are because everything is set up. But if you someday are sick and want to attend on Zoom, please do so. Even if you don't have Photoshop, you can learn how to use VDI and do that. Or you can just, you're kind of sick, you don't want to miss it completely, you can just watch in and listen. But if you're on Zoom and want to come in person, you can come. This is no matter which one you signed up to, it's back and forth. You can do whatever feels best for you for that day, okay? All right, bye. So thanks for that question. All right.
Bye, thank you.
Hold on, he had a question
Oh,
next.
sorry.
No, I'm trying to.
See you this afternoon. I'm gonna eat my lunch. Thank you.
Bye, Barbara. Let's see you in a bit.
Good water.
I hate that.
Barbara, or I mean Diane.
Coming. And then Photoshop it.
All right, so you're gonna be here when?
Yeah, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. at 10.
I don't know if I will be here.
Oh,
Because my wife has a class.
oh, what's your class?
They just signed up for it.
Is it here or is it? You know, it's
Just
so
log
other
out.
class. Oh, okay, the other class. Yeah, you have to like class first. Right, you know.
Right?
Right? No, I don't even married to the.
Well, I'm asking because you didn't say it on wow.
5 years.
And that tells me
Something
that
like
you're either
What's the secret?
spoke your language from very young or something, because otherwise you're like, one instead of you said it in Spanish. Like, Cannon,
No, no.
Bye, Cannon. See you next Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, guys, if you have no other questions, I'll let you go. Do you have any other questions, Anne?
Yes, you said to save it and so forth, but you
Guys,
didn't tell
I'm still answering the questions.
Saw too many bad.
David,
Bad marriages.
David, I'm still answering a couple of questions, so keep it a little bit lower. Yeah, sorry, Anne.
Yes, so you were gonna tell me how to save and what I was
Yes.
supposed to do?
So you need to sign out of the Google Drive. So head down to that little arrow. Do you remember the one where you
Yes,
can Google
yes.
Drive? Click on that
Yes,
and then just say quit. And go to the gears icon.
okay, so I click on Google Drive icon first,
And then there's a
Right.
little gears icon.
in the gear, okay,
Go down to quit.
Okay.
Okay. Then next Wednesday or next time you sign in, you'll have to sign in again, right? Now, go to the very far left and put on the Windows icon, the little Windows, four little Windows icon. Click on that. And
Wait a
then
okay, so now I'm back in Photoshop.
go ahead and if you want to leave, close the very top right of Photoshop has an X to close it and the
Okay,
same
close.
with Bridge.
You close that. Save changes,
No, we don't want to save any of this.
okay,
And then Bridge, close up.
okay, well, wait a minute, see. Bridge, so X out of that,
Cool. Now, on the
back to my blue screen.
bottom left of your taskbar, the furthest left is the Windows icon button. You see it? Very far left.
Yes,
Click on that. And one above it is the power. You're going to power off your VDI computer. So go and say shut down or whatever
okay.
it says.
Right,
And then when it's done, it'll say you've disconnected. Now you still need to disconnect from VDI. Did it say that already?
okay, it's right now, it says disconnected, you've been disconnected, so I
Yeah,
close
so
that
say
window.
close out. And then at the very top of the screen you see next, you'll see the word little green icon with VM Horizon or something like that. The very, very top left. You see that?
I'm on the horizon,
Yeah.
but what
At the very top of your left screen, you'll
left,
see
okay.
very, very top, you'll see 4 or 5 little icons. The furthest to the right, you click on it and you can log out.
Okay, I don't see that. I'm at the very, very top where it's got a little box with a line over it.
Yeah, no, that's outside of VDI. Where the icon says
Oh,
Horizon, the green logo.
okay,
And then
All
to the right, there's like 4 buttons. The furthest to the right button,
uh-huh.
you click
Open
on that,
menu.
at the bottom it says log out or.
Okay, so that'd be open menu
No,
and then log out, okay.
yeah, perfect.
All
So
right.
that's it. You're safely out. Then next week or next Wednesday or whenever you want to practice and you log in, the only thing you'll have to sign in and out of anymore at this point, everything else to sign in and out is each day the Google Drive. You need to make sure to sign in so that those files appear in your Google Drive that you can then see through Bridge, okay? So at the end of the day, you sign out and when you start, you sign in, because if you don't, then when you sign in next week, all the files will appear corrupted. They're not corrupted, but they appear corrupted and everyone panics. And it's just because you need to sign out and sign in a Google Drive. All right?
Okay,
See you on
I think I got
Wednesday.
it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.